Too. Affordable health coverage, strong network, one-on-one support, CareSource Marketplace Health Plans. We got you. Learn more at caresource.com/marketplace. CareSource North Carolina Company.
Hey everyone, it's Jay Shetty, and I am so excited to let you know that my latest podcast interview is with the one and only Tom Hanks.
I have left many wonderful atmosphere or a loving atmosphere without thinking, oh, things were really wonderful back then. I wish I was back there. Jay, I don't think I've ever thought that.
Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search On Purpose.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. WIN. That's WIN. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat for an
Overreaction Monday.
There we go. Overreactions to the Week 9 action in the NFL, and first and foremost,
this is not an overreaction. It's a happy day because we have breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
It finally happened. It finally happened. I'm so happy for Saints fans because Dennis Allen. Yeah. It's you know what? For the rest of the day, Saint fans, you're stock up, New Orleans Saints.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes, finally.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if the nudie pictures he had of somebody in the ownership group disappeared. I don't know if that horse died. I don't know. I don't know what you did. I don't know what he had on you, but I know he ain't got it on you no more.
Nope. Dennis Allen fired from the New Orleans Saints after 7 straight losses and losing this week to the Carolina Panthers.
Hey, you remember when we did rest of season predictions and my fourth one was Dennis Allen gets fired this week after he loses to the Carolina Panthers?
Yes, sir.
One down.
Well, at least we could all, we can all kind of bathe in some sanity with the New Orleans Saints. And this all apparently came after the owner of the team found out that everybody hates Dennis Allen.
Gail Benson went in the locker room and asked like 40 players, hey, what do you think the problem is? And she didn't even get the question answered out of her mouth before they answered, Dennis Allen. D-A. DA stands for one thing. It also stands for Dennis Allen, who is a DA.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, he was the worst coach in the NFL. I watched that entire game yesterday going, how are you this stupid? It's almost like you're trying. And then, of course, by the way, anytime I ever play Chris Olave on DraftKings, I think I should have to tell people.
Yes.
I think I should have to register as I played Chris Olave, which means he is going to end up in the hospital before this day is up. Because Derek Carr threw what I like to call a hospital ball. And then he had to defend it when Michael Thomas said, hey, bro, what was that? Yeah, that ball right there is why I don't play in this league anymore, because I caught one too many of those bad boys.
Mm-hmm. It's about damn time. That's all I can say.
Look, Saints, your season's over, but your future is trending in the right direction because your next coach is who I think would be the best coach for you, and his name is anyone but Dennis Allen.
Are you sure?
You could tell me they hired Cardi B, Jason Kelsey, or that doll sitting behind Tank. I'll give you 2 extra wins because none of those people are Dennis Allen.
And you could win just based on talent that you have on the team.
It is disgusting how much talent that team has and how unbelievably god-awfully they're coached.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for you, Saints fans. I never want to celebrate someone losing their job unless it's Dennis Allen or Todd Bowles. Those are Frabjous Day, Kaloo Calais kind of days. And now he will move on to a great career working at the Home Depot where he is qualified.
Mm-hmm. And who are they replacing him with?
Darren Reitze.
Darren Reitze.
Whose last name is spelled Rizzy, and I feel like his Rizzy is a lot more drip than what Dennis Allen had.
Don't use those words. We don't.
Hey, you're the one that hired Riz. New Orleans got a little Riz. They're fit.
They do. They're turning it over to the special teams coordinator. And, I mean, at this point it was, let's just get this dumbass out of the building and figure out what we can salvage out of this season, which is nothing, which is let's just lose, baby.
You could tell me the interim coach of the New Orleans Saints was David the janitor, and I would have 2 more wins.
They have a game coming up with the New York Giants on December the 8th. They've got a game coming up with the Las Vegas Raiders on December the 29th. I think those might be their only chances to win a couple of games before the end of this year.
Hey, they play the Falcons this week. Fired Coach Bump, and those games are always a little funky.
You think so?
They also play the Browns. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, I mean, you got some winnable games.
Oh, but that's the Jameis Winston revenge narrative game.
That's okay. You remember that thing I said about Jameis Winston?
It went so well this week.
Judy Chop! 2 for 2. You remember when I said there's a reason that Jameis Winston has not been given an opportunity to start for any NFL team? That's why. Because you might get last week Jameis, or you might get this week Jameis. Last week he was eating dubs. This week he was eating grass because his head was mushed in it for 4 quarters.
3 interceptions in the 27-10 loss against the Los Angeles Chargers for Jameis.
I was driving back. I was out of town over the weekend, and I was driving back into town listening to NFL radio. I had my DraftKings lineup on my phone, and I stopped at a red light. As I was listening, the Chargers scored to make it 13-3, and I looked at my phone, and they were already up 20-3. And I went, how are we that far behind? This is live radio. And I'll be damned if I didn't wait like 4 minutes. There they win again. Go, Chargers, go!
It has been. It was another good week. I mean, we can all tip our caps to Saquon Barkley because that dude's not from this planet.
Yeah. The only thing the caveat, all high school, middle school, anything like that, children that think you're going to try to perform that move, that is how you end up on your noodle.
Yes.
So don't do that.
That is a bad idea.
Bijan Robinson was on Dan Patrick earlier, and they asked, hey, have you ever thought about trying something like that? He said, my second play at Texas, I decided I was going to try to make a play. I hurdled a guy. He undercut me, and I landed directly on my head. Lost all feeling in my fingertips, and I have never jumped over another player again. Mm-hmm. That is smart.
Saquon did get, super lucky. 1/2 inch to the left, and he's upended on his neck, season over. Could have been bad.
Did you know Bijan Robinson's a DJ?
I did not.
I was very disappointed when I found out his DJ name. DJ Spin Zone, as he likes to spin on the field. Your DJ name is Dijon, D-J-A-N. Done. Because your name is Bijan. Let the marketing guy handle this.
So it's just Dijon.
Dijon. DJAN. Done. World famous. You're welcome.
Okay, and hadn't thought of that.
I when he said it, I went, nope, you're doing it wrong. Stop doing that.
But to pull off that move, to spin away from who was it? Devin Lloyd. He spun away from spun would be the word you're looking for. That's the one I'm working.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Tank is not functioning on all cylinders, because I looked at him this morning and I said, hey, we're off Thursday because Tank has an event to go to. And he looked at me like a dog staring at the answering machine, like, I don't have anything on Thursday.
Yeah,
you do. I don't know what it is, but you do. 4.5 minutes later, he went, oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, I won't be here Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I get to talk to that feller for 3 hours. This is going to be fun.
Saquon, yeah, he's pretty good at the football. Jumping over a defender backwards. I've never seen that before. I've seen dudes hurdle face to face. Never have I seen a guy come out of a spin move on one player who, I mean, he just made Devin Lloyd look ridiculous on that spin move. And then he sees the other defender coming and just goes, you know what? I'm just gonna jump. I'm just gonna jump and see what happens.
That looked like a move that you would run on Madden.
Yes.
You hit too many buttons and it has to catch up, and then it glitches out.
Right.
And I jumped over it backwards and kept on running.
Yeah. The only problem is in the video game, you always get undercut, and that ball goes flying somewhere else that it's not supposed to be.
I mean, but did you have any sweeping takeaways? I mean, obviously, Dennis Allen, that's the biggest story of the day.
Sweeping takeaways from the weekend?
Did you walk away from this, and I'll be the first one to say it, god-awful weekend of football with any overwhelming takes?
No, more. I mean, the fact that the Cardinals are still in first place in the NFC West. So congratulations, Red Sea, and all of our other Cardinals
By the way, thank you, Bears, for holding up your end of that bargain. Thank you, Bears. That I needed that, because I really didn't need them to be coming off a loss playing my Jets this week.
Right.
We probably lose to them anyway, but at least I don't go into the week knowing we're going to get hammered by a running quarterback, because that's what we do.
Yep. The Rams coming out with the win against the Seahawks. That was one of the games that I told you on Friday I was looking forward to, and it did not disappoint.
Oh, this is probably a good time for me to go. Hey, Seahawk fans, did you all lose your phones at the same time? Because I haven't heard from one of you in 24 hours. That's bizarre. You all lost the ability to respond to me on Twitter at the exact same time.
In what really was a god-awful game for both teams.
That's two bad teams.
Right.
You're going to have to win 10 games to make the playoffs. I got news for you. The Rams nor the Seahawks are winning teams.
Just watching both of those teams going, wow, you got a lot to figure out, and somehow the Rams are still winning this game, which tells me everything I need to know about the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba apparently was not in the game plan for the LA Rams, so they just stopped. Nope. We are not going to cover him. He looks like a nice kid, and he deserves to have a big old biggin, and he did.
And then last night, Sunday Night Football.
Didn't watch a second of it.
The Indianapolis Colts, not good at football.
And still possibly a playoff team. Because, I hate to break this to you, AFC fans. There are 7 teams in your playoffs, and one of them is going to be the Indianapolis Colts, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Denver Broncos, or the New York Jets. There's no way around it, because the other 5 teams are eliminated. Miami Dolphins, T's and P's. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Your season is over.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Yeah. No coming back from 2-6.
No. Well, every year a team has, in the last 5 years, a team that started 3-6 has made the playoffs every year. The only problem for Miami is that you have 4 of them that are better than you in front of you. So, and by the way, your schedule is evil. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye,
you
Miami.
get no favors.
But then there's my sweeping takeaway of, and usually we don't talk as much about college on Monday. We do that more on Wednesday. So I'm kind of breaking the stride to look right at Clemson fans and say, why do you keep defending this idiot? Every single time he grumpers in your fishbowl. And you go, but Dabo's still a good coach. Is he, though? Is he a good coach? He sure as hell ain't elite, so please stop using that word. I need you to get a dictionary book and look that up and see what elite means, and I guarantee you Dabo Sweeny ain't even in the ballpark of that. Is he a competent head coach? Would be a better question, and my answer would be a big old resounding, no, he's not. You know what would have been a lot of fun for them against Louisville? I don't know, one of those transfer portal receivers that could, I don't know, win ever. A running back that I'm not sure could outrun me in a foot race. But, I mean, you're a bang-up job, Dabo. You're building leaders, leader of men. You're building great future lawyers and doctors because they are surely not NFL football players.
We're just teaching the men adversity. That's all this is
I mean,
about.
Dabo does a great job of teaching them that when they lose to every competent team they play. Awesome. You can beat a group of nuns, a Girl Scout troop, a culinary school, but then you play a good team, and Tyler Shuck makes you hold his pocket for 60 minutes because that's exactly what happened. I watched every second of it. I could hear the stadium. That's how close I was. And I heard, really early. And then over time, it waned to almost silence. And then I saw them all coming back from the stadium and went, woo, that's a level of sadness you don't see very often. With your little tiger paws flying.
But it's only the second loss of the year. Why are you getting crazy?
Well, because you play in the ACC, and 2 losses means bye. Enjoy the Outback Bowl. We won't, because we won't watch second of it, because it doesn't mean squat. But then again, neither do you. So it's a marriage made in heaven, orange heaven, sad heaven.
Yeah, it is strange how you look back at every loss that Clemson has suffered in the last few years. And you notice one common theme.
That they get their face mushed by every good team they play.
Right.
Duke, let's see, Georgia earlier this year, Louisville, they just mush your face because they have good players and you don't. I mean, and I don't take any joy out of being right. Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
And I said it 3 years ago, so I think I deserve a... And I'm going to keep being right until you wise up and go, hey, if we want to be elite, maybe we should have an elite coach.
Well, look, you may be able to win the next 3 games on your schedule. You get Virginia Tech. Of course, that's on the road.
At this point, Travis Kelce has made less excuses for his meathead brother than Clemson fans have made for Dabo Sweeny.
You'd be on the road against number 23 Pittsburgh. Then you get the Citadel before you have to play the South Carolina Gamecocks at the end of the year, and I don't think that's going to go your way. I don't care that you're playing it in Death Valley. That South Carolina team that we watched, go toe-to-toe with LSU, and then we watched Saturday, it was every moment of it felt like every other moment of every South Carolina game where they almost had the game won. It all piled up against Texas A&M.
And they did it for 4 quarters and beat you by a gajillion.
So, congratulations, I guess, on another, 3-loss season. It's only 3 losses. But if you're elite, then you shouldn't be losing any games in this conference.
No. You should not be losing to Louisville, who Miami scored on at will. The good thing is that you don't have to waste a vacation day to go to Charlotte and watch Miami hang 70 on you, because they would. You took a mediocre Louisville team and made their receivers look like Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson, and Marvin Harrison.
So as it stands right now, your ACC championship game would be
Miami Hurricanes versus the SMU, I don't know. Mustangs? I think it's Mustangs.
Yeah, Mustangs.
The SMU bought and paid for us. By the way, that SMU move, not looking so stupid now. Hey, we don't want to take any money from your conference. We have money. It comes from that guy. The guy in the cowboy hat that looks like he owns 20 car dealerships, because he does. He just went, take all our money. We just want to be good. and they went and bought players. Hey, you know who could learn that lesson? Dabo Sweeny.
Mm-hmm.
When you have people that give you money, maybe you should not put it in your pocket.
Weird how that works.
You should use that to pay a player or two and be good.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It is
an Overreaction Monday, and we got a slew of super chats to get to, and we'll do that when we come back.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. Just check out some of their Google reviews. One user writes, I'd been avoiding visiting the dentist for years due to poor experiences in the past. I had quite a few visits and procedures at Summit in the last year, and each and every one was made comfortable by the staff that work there. They're all kind and compassionate and take extra time to make sure your comfort level is right where it should be. Summit Dental in Asheville. Call them today, 828-277-6868 or online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Storm Pro Solution is here to help you in your time of need, providing top roofing and water damage restoration services, tree removals, and storm damage assessments. Call Storm Pro Solution at 828-318-7096.
The Salvation Army of Asheville needs your help to spread love beyond Christmas. Volunteer a few hours to ring bells and raise funds for those that need them now more than ever. It's easy. Sign up at registertoring.com. Let's make a difference this holiday season that will support our community year-round.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
And now Jeremy may starve to death by the end of the show because Uber Eats is dedicated to they are not bringing me food.
He's having such a hard time right now.
I've been trying to order food for the better part of 2 hours. I've had one order canceled, and I've got another one that's sitting in purgatory right now. Maybe one day. I'm still hungry. You jackals!
I didn't know they could do that. I didn't know they could just say we're not doing it.
I'm telling you, I'm about to go to Grubhub, and I'm a preferred vendor on Uber Eats. I'm paying a light bill somewhere. Fatty's hungry.
Speaking of paying the bills, we got some super chats to get to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Armchair commentary, Great North Sports, David Smith. He goes by many names. He's out here doing Yemen's, the Lord's work, if you will. Gifting 10 memberships to 10 lovely listeners of this here program. I always love when people do that because I see so many people that are listening to the show but are not in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
They're at work, working actual jobs, which Tank and I know nothing of. But we appreciate you, Great North Sports. And I apologize that I believe he messaged me on Friday, and I turned my phone off about 8 minutes after I walked out of this building.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a lot of golf, real bad golf. I hit a car.
Oh,
I'm many zip codes away now, so I can admit that I did it. Yeah,
was the car passing by?
Nope.
Oh, it was
sitting in its driveway.
Okay.
And you know where that fairway wasn't? In your driveway. I did that thing where you hit it and you go, please be longer than I think.
Oh, no.
Bow! Shotgun. Oh, excrement. I have soiled my trousers and we must go on to the next hole before the villagers become aware of what has transpired.
He has falafeled around.
Yeah.
So the driveway was nowhere near the fairway.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you were trying to get a measurement in your head, the fairway was straight in front of me.
Yeah.
The car was at least 60 yards that way.
The right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And that drive started perfectly straight. Then it went like a really bad field goal.
Yeah, but it was the trade winds, right? You hit it
For sure.
high that the trade winds blew it.
For sure.
Yeah.
It blew it right. Thankfully, it was a car that, based on my, from far away, glancing look, I don't think anybody would ever notice because the car only had 3 tires. So if I was going to hit any car, that was the one to hit, not the very lovely Mercedes behind it.
Right. Thank God I hit the Datsun.
I think they use that one for parts or to hide drugs. I don't know what that car is used for, but it now has a new shiny dent on it. I stood there for a while like, hey, if I need to give you some money, I have some. But I think that whole car is worth about $42.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, next one is from Rob Johnson. This super chat reads, Jaden Daniels to Terry McLaurin. Fire, kissy face, and what is that supposed to be?
That's a chef. That would be chef's kiss. They're goober.
Oh. Well, see, you should have done the chef first. I mean, it's like kissy face.
Rob,
and nurse. Is this like a hello nurse kind of a thing?
Yeah,
or?
Rob, you confuse Tank a lot because, I mean, he went down a rabbit hole. We talked about Emeril Lagasse, Gordon Ramsay. What chef is he actually trying to kiss, and why is he doing it? I told you, he's not clicking on all cylinders today. This is not a learned gent that I'm dealing with.
No, not at all.
It's kind of like doing a show with a dish rag. Just, he's going to get there eventually.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, and then Red Sea with a super chat says, the Bears are indeed who we thought they were.
You remember when I said in the NFC North, you had the Lions, the Vikings, and Packers, and they're pretty similar. And there's a big drop-off to the Bears. And a lot of people freaked out and said, there's not a drop-off. You're going to hear that bell a lot today, except when we talk about betting picks. And if you followed me this week, I'm sorry. It was ugly. And I told you it was going to be. I warned you of I don't feel good about anything but the NFL because college has a bunch of funky numbers that I don't like.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And then finally we have one. Oh, well, this ain't the final one. We've got one from Soaring Eagle here.
He said, I already had to watch the Ravens eat Bo Nix's lunchbox yesterday. Why do I have to also be inundated with Kerry Lake, Ruben, I don't know how to say that name.
Gallego,
Amish Shah, and David Schwilkert ads. I'm assuming they're all politicians.
Mm-hmm.
You got one more day. All right, 24 hours from now, if you add like a work day to it, it'll all be over.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have to see any of these people ever again, except for the ones that win, and then we can just make fun of them for 4 years.
Yes.
So
tomorrow, an important day, Election Day. If you have not voted yet, Jeremy Green,
Oh, I'll be there. But don't worry. I show up in my truck looking like me, and I don't even think I have to get out. I think they're going to see me and go, "We got it. We got a pretty good idea of what you're looking to do." So, what's your name? We just want to write that at the top so you can't do it more than once.
Yeah. They definitely don't want to make sure that you do it more than once.
For sure. Now, Dad Grandpa's going to vote for Kamala 43 times.
I was going to say, you pull up in a Prius, they'll allow you to vote 700
For
times.
sure. How many voting places have you been to today? 11? What the hell have you been doing?
We
need you out here working.
And we will have all of your election coverage on our sister station, News Radio 570 WWNC, tomorrow night. Myself, Mark Starling, a bevy of guests as we will run through all of the tabulations as they come in. We're fully planning on being able to call it a night, at least around 11 o'clock tomorrow night, and because we're not going to know for days.
Yeah, good luck with that. I would wager you won't be calling it a night until... How long did that last with Al Gore? Because I got this funny feeling we're going to be doing that again.
See, Pennsylvania did us a favor. They went, there's an election coming up. Well, we're just going to go ahead and tell you. We're not going to have the results of this election for, I don't know, a week and a half. So you can just leave.
I got a funny story about that later. Hey, schools, stop being so soft. And then.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
Mark Bradley with a milestone chat because he's been here for 31 months with us. I had to make sure that was 31.
That
My
is
eyes
31.
weren't working today. He said, "Hey, guys, just wanted to ask a simple question. How about them Cowboys?" We're going to talk about them at the start of the next hour. We pulled them off conversation probation because your quarterback did a thing that was worthy of being discussed, and we're going to discuss it.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Money talk.
Red Sea with another one. Super chat in the YouTube comments. He says, "I can't wait for the day that the Jets hired Dabo Sweeny as their head coach and Jeremy officially loses it."
Look, I've already proven that I will tap out on an institution that I love. Florida State. You're dead to me.
New York Knicks.
Yep, did that one too. Hiring Dabo Sweeny would probably be enough for me to tap out on the Jets. They're not going to do that. Because, see, they're even being a completely inept franchise, they look at Dabo Sweeny and go, "We're hiring Johnny Rah-Rah. Sorry. You learn what an X or an O actually does, and we can talk. Mm-hmm. But your motivational hype speech doesn't work in the NFL there, Joel Osteen." That's his new name. I'm never calling him anything else for the rest of my life.
Yep.
And then.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Great North Sports once again. Can we get a Triple B update?
Better Business Bureau?
I said I know there were changes to the BBB.
I'm going to say that was Battle for the Belt.
Maybe.
I don't know. You'll have to clarify what that was. Mm-hmm. We do have two winners for Battle for the Belt that I will have to look. Michael Meadows is tabulating this for me because he is a scholar and a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I am barely remembering to form the contest at this point. So, and for that, I apologize.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, and then Gage Camplin with a big super chat. He says, "Hey, boys, lackluster weekend of football. Sirianni is a big-time problem. Duh. The Eagles should have won by 20 points. He left 9 points on the table. He was bailed out by a great play by Dean. What would you tell Nick if you were Howie?"
All right, let's role play this.
Okay.
You'll be Nick Sirianni, and I'll be Howie Roseman.
Okay.
You walk. I have called you into my office. You walk in the door and you sit down at my desk.
All right. Hey, Howie, how are you doing today?
Well, I've been better.
Mm-hmm.
Been better. How do you think things are going?
Well, I mean, we're 6-2. We're winning games. I feel like we're getting the job done.
Do you feel as though you're doing everything you can do to make us better?
I plead the fifth.
So you know that I've given you a $50-some-odd million quarterback,
mm-hmm.
and arguably the best running back in the league, arguably the best receiver in the league, certainly a top 3 to 5 guy, another elite 2 the best offensive line in football, and just a slew of pieces on defense, and you still can't seem to make it easy, can you? You just can't make. Could you just please make the easy things easy? Kick the field goal, Nick. Kick it. Stop with the touche-pooche. The touche-pooche is stupid. Just play the game. Stop trying to get cute. Maybe learn a book, you schmuck, and stop. Could you please do something with your face? Because I am going to mush it, because your face is really making me angry. Just even sitting here looking at it. Yeah. I want to hit you in the face with a hammer, like really hard. So could you please do something about that?
Has there ever been a more out-to-lunch coach who is 6-2? And I was thinking about that after the game last night, going, what did I just watch? I watched Nick Sirianni do stupid stuff for 4 quarters of football. What was it, 3 times? 3 times he went for 2?
Yes.
And missed it.
Yes.
Left 3 points on the board. Meanwhile, it comes down to the end of the game, and you're only 5 points up.
Uh-huh.
And I was begging. the gods. Please, dear God, let Trevor Lawrence score this touchdown.
It was 22-0.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped even paying attention. And then, at one point, I was at the village porch, and I turned my head, and I saw the score, and I went, that maths. It maths that this is a game. It shouldn't be. There's, do you know what the yardage totals in yesterday's game were?
Oh, I would say it was a lot too little.
The Eagles had how many yards?
4 something?
447.
Yeah.
The Jaguars had how many yards?
302.
215.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that start.
Yeah. Yeah. At no point should this have been a game. But Nick Sirianni cannot help himself because he is as bad of an in-game coach as I have ever seen. And I need you to do something about your face. Like, I don't know if you need to wear a mask. I don't know if you need to wear a bonnet or a bib or whatever, because you are an overgrown child. But your face is infuriating me. He just has this smug look on his face at all times, like you're doing something special. You're doing very little with a lot. And it keeps working. But there's coming a day. Because, all right, you might win this division. I don't think you're going to, but you might. You're almost certainly going to be a wild card team. And then you have to play somebody better than you. And it's no more Jacksonville Jaguars, no more New York Giants, no more Cincinnati Bengals. You have to beat the Detroit Lions or the Minnesota Vikings or the Green Bay Packers or the Atlanta Falcons. And I got news for you. They're all better than you. All of them. Because you do very little with a lot. I can't imagine that Howie Roseman doesn't just hate him.
He has to. Because he's stuck. Because you don't, I don't feel like there is a GM in the world that is going to come out and fire a 6-2 coach, although that is exactly what you should do. I don't care who you have to turn it over to. You turn it over to the adult in the room, whoever that is. You get all of the coaching staff together. Nick Sirianni, you put him in that little, that little like real world cubicle where he can't hear anything that's happening right now. Get his testimonial. And then find the adult in the room and just hand it over to them and say, look, Nick Sirianni's a bumbling idiot, and he's got this team at 6-2. If any of y'all can be half competent, then this is going to be a playoff team.
And now here's the thing that I have to, the caveat that I have to give you about their 6-2. They have 6 wins. That is accurate. Those 6 wins are over the Jaguars, Bengals, Giants, Browns, Saints, and Packers. That Packer game was close, and literally it was which quarterback screws up last. Jordan Love screwed up last.
Yep.
That's the only reason you beat them in Brazil. Had that been in Green Bay, you lose that game, and I don't doubt that for a second. I'm not sure you wouldn't have lost it in Philadelphia because I think the crowd would have turned on you. And now I'm looking at the schedule going, yeah, you got Cowboys, Rams, Panthers, Giants. You have 2 with the Commanders. You have one at the Ravens. You have one with the Steelers. I have a weird feeling you're going to know exactly what Philadelphia is when they play those teams. Because Baltimore will beat your brains out.
Mm-hmm.
You get cute against John Harbaugh, he will smoke you like a deli meat. Ask Bo Nix. He learned the hard way.
Mm-hmm. Nick Sirianni did it again. And somehow his team keeps winning games. Because the competition ain't been great.
Nope.
Every game that you can look at, there's either a special circumstance like the Green Bay game, or the teams that you're beating absolutely stink on ice. And the only way this ever gets better is to cut him loose. But you can't cut him loose while he's 6-2.
The Philadelphia Eagles are the Clemson Tigers of NFL football. You have a coach that all of us know. Nobody is doubting it. That doesn't wear orange on Saturdays or green on Sundays. None of us are looking at these coaches going, those are elite coaches. You're playing dog water schedules. How the Eagles get a dog water schedule every year, I will never figure out. You can beat up on the dregs, and then you play a legit team, and you're going to get hammered. Congratulations. To me, that's the worst place to be in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have hope, but you're hopeless. You have to continue to watch this team. You have to continue to wear your swag. You have to continue to show up on Sunday. And you know there's going to be a lot of wins. But there is absolutely no light at the end of this tunnel.
No.
And, oh, by the way, that's with probably the most talented player in the NFL on your team.
Mm-hmm.
New York Giants. We can admit we made the wrong call at this point, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they couldn't do anything or couldn't do much with Saquon when he was there. So,
and the funny thing is, it's really not hard. Put a competent offensive line in front of him and give him the ball and let him go.
Yeah, something they never could do while he was in New York. And now he is balling out with the Philadelphia Eagles and making plays that, well, we've just never seen before. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under cloudy skies today, now just across the state line into Tennessee. There are wind advisories there at the ridge tops. We've got slight chances for some early afternoon rain. We get up to the low 60s. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Some patchy fog. Slight chance for rain or drizzle, low 52. We'll start the day off Tuesday with some early fog and drizzle. Slight chance for rain later. Partly sunny, high 68. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. Slight chance for showers, low 70s. Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. In North Carolina, more than half of all firearm deaths are suicides. If you own a gun, you can make a life-saving difference. Lock it up every time. Visit ncsafe.org to learn more.
Radio has the 2024 presidential election covered with Decision 2024. Listen for real-time results and updates as the votes come in. From key races to national trends, our team will cover it all. Tomorrow night, stay informed and stay connected on the go with your free iHeartRadio app. Just search election to listen to iHeart's 24/7 news channel.
A people-first presidency.
Make America great again.
Decision 2024 on iHeartRadio.
After the devastation of Hurricane Helene, CareSource has been inspired by the strength and compassion of our North Carolina friends and neighbors. To support our recovery and replenish vital food banks, the CareSource Foundation has donated to Beloved Asheville and Manna Food Bank. We invite you to help too. To learn how, visit belovedasheville.com and mannafoodbank.org. We're all in this together, and together, we will rebuild. A public service message from CareSource.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
I look back with such amazing thankfulness and gratitude for what we've been given. Not only my child was I given back, we were given everything so that she could be here. St. Jude will not stop. There's nothing that will get in the way of continual effort and the best treatment possible for children like Bridget.
You can help kids fight childhood cancer. Please become a St. Jude Partner in Hope today by texting SHIRT to 785-833.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Getting just a bit outside here. And Jeremy, with the quote, explosive growth of women's college and pro basketball, along with the now decades-long popularity of women's soccer. The story from NBC Sports reads over the weekend, there is now a new league that is being formed for women. Where would you think this? Where does this go? You've got basketball, college and pro. You got women's soccer that has caught on with a fan base. What is the next arm of sports that the women try to compete in?
I don't know. Your lead up to the story wore me out.
How about a guess?
Let's see. Football.
I think they already tried that once.
Well, they had a lingerie league, but I don't think that constituted as that.
Well, they had another. I think they had a women's football league as
Gambit
well.
fan said hockey. I'm going to go with hockey.
No,
that one doesn't
it wasn't hockey. Well, not hockey either. By the summer of 2026, the organizers of the newly announced Women's Pro Baseball League hope to get things going with 6 teams based in the northeastern United States. They have one problem, though.
They don't have anyone that wants that.
Well, that might be true, and
that's certainly true.
And that would be
outside of the Yankees and the Dodgers, you can't sell Major League Baseball.
It's not necessarily that they don't have,
and the Braves don't come at me, Braves fans. It wears me out.
It's not necessarily that they don't have the money for all of this. They don't have any players, which seems like a big old problem that you have. If you had to take a guess at just how many high school girls in America are playing baseball, like actual, but not softball, actual over-the-hand small ball baseball, 1,372. That's compared to the 471,761 boys that are playing baseball. And the odd part of this is why would you start at the top and hope to work your way down? Because that's the only trajectory here. You don't have a feeder system of high schools that have girls playing. You don't have colleges that have girls playing baseball. So you're going to start a professional league and then hope that it trickles down? That seems like an odd business strategy.
What you're telling me is that you started a business that has no employees, but you think you're going to have fans. Okay.
Apparently so.
I'm going to disagree for the square. But that model has worked for Saturday Night Live. Oh.
No.
Oops. You don't have fans or employees.
Oopsie, now they got FCC problems.
Yeah. Almost like you did that on purpose. But you wouldn't do that, right, Lord?
No.
Self-sanctioned. No. My story is about Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. He's unlike me. I love Jackson Dart. I think he's a fantastic player. I believe he does have an NFL future. But he's a Halloween-man. He enjoys the Halloween. So he and I've lost the kid's name. It's a teammate. Walker Howard, the backup quarterback. They went out on the square in Oxford on Halloween night. Just care to take a guess what they dressed up as? This is a very, I'll say overplayed costume. It's a low-key No, it's not that one. Although him and Walker Howard as Harley Quinn would have been humorous.
Were they dressed as hot dogs?
They were not dressed as hot dogs. They were dressed as Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
In the orange and blue suit.
Yeah.
They did a TikTok about it. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, this incensed the part of the fan base of Ole Miss, who said on Twitter and got very ugly about this, "You should be in your dorm room studying tape." A, tell me you don't know how the life of a college quarterback goes without telling me. But did you happen to take a gander at what Jackson Dart did on the old gridiron on Saturday?
Seems like he had a decent day.
They beat Arkansas 63-31.
Got to study more.
Mr. Dart went 25 of 31 with 6 touchdowns and 515 yards.
Oh, so he had as many touchdowns as he had incompletions.
You
Awesome.
let him play dress up anytime he wants to, okay? And Billy
we got Georgia coming up.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, the fact that Ole Miss trolled that part of the fan base, so they did their press conference after the game. And the cover, much like we do on YouTube, because you can watch it on their YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
It had press conference, Jordan Watkins and Jackson Dart. And the picture of Jordan Watkins was him scoring a touchdown against Arkansas. And the picture of Jackson Dart was him in the suit.
In the costume.
In the suit with the cane. I love how low-key petty Lane Kiffin is.
So good.
I love it. Love it. Richard Petty, and I'm here for it.
694 yards of total offense.
Oh, by the way, he was their leading rusher, too, if that. I mean, I didn't say that.
Oh,
but
my.
He had 47 yards rushing, too.
Wow.
So
I
think he's fine.
So of your 694 yards, he was accounting for
552. 562.
562.
Forgot to carry the one.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I believe if you want to worry about anything, I don't think you have to worry about Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 super chats before we go into the commercial break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
First one, I'm going to do these backwards because I do want to talk about the second one. Soaring Eagle, there's a better chance that I come across the Carnage symbiote and bond with it than the Washington Commanders don't win this division. I want to agree with you, but I'm still worried that, like, they played with the Giants yesterday. You shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
That should have been a walk in the park. And it was for 2.5 quarters, and then it wasn't. So I can't go that far. Washington's the best team in that division. And I would argue Washington has the most hype of any team in the league. Did you see the report that Schefter came out with yesterday that players around the league were trying to get traded to Washington?
Yes.
That's new, and I did not expect that, but I'm not shocked.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing that guys love to do, it's hop on a hype train with a young quarterback, and I would make the argument Jaden Daniels is the best young quarterback in this league.
Yes, no doubt.
Which leads us into our second super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's from Curtis Davis, and every time he super chats, I have to give him the requisite "Go Chargers, go!" He is a great Charger fan and been with us for a long time. He said, top 6 quarterbacks in the NFL, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Burrow, Stafford. Pick the order you want. If it's not those, we're not watching the same sport.
Herbert's still in that group?
Herbert was incredible yesterday. He's super talented.
Yes.
I feel like you left out C.J. Stroud. Other than that, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really have an objection.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel like Stroud needs to be in there.
I mean, Matthew Stafford, just don't ever let Matthew Stafford have the ball with a chance to win
With
at the
weapons.
end of the game.
If he has weapons, he can hurt your feelings.
Good night.
And it doesn't matter how bad the offensive line is. Herbert, I've always said, was really talented. I feel like that might be a little high, but not enough for me to jump up and down.
Right.
I mean, I told you when we went through quarterbacks. For me, there are 4, which is Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen. And then there's a drop-off. I would have C.J. Stroud there at 5. You can argue over who – there's a group of about 4 more that I would put in that next tier. And then it's, hey, you don't have a quarterback that's anywhere close to those, so good luck trying to beat them because it's not going to be fun for you.
But where's Jaden on this list? 8-ish?
He belongs up there. He's in my top 10.
Yeah, I would say.
I think I had him at 8 when we did this.
I would say he is worthy of a top 10 nod right now. Can't go much higher than that. Just based on let's see what happens. I mean, he's been fantastic, way better than I ever thought.
I will say this: if Jim Harbaugh has legitimately figured something out, and he understands that Justin Herbert needs to be able to take shots like he did yesterday, that team's not going to be fun to deal with. I still think you're a year away because he inherited a roster that was just not built for the way he wants to play football. But he's gotten a lot out of Quentin Johnston. I mean, we thought he was dead man walking.
Right.
He's the best receiver on that team. It's not close. Josh Palmer's a legit 2. Ladd McConkey's been pretty good doing what it is that he does. You run the ball, and you got pass rushers. I mean, for me, you've checked every box. Quarterback, coach, pass rushers, enough weapons. Yeah, you're fine.
I just want to see you do it against a good team.
I look at their schedule and go, I don't care. Because if I'm the Chargers, I just want to make the playoffs. What happens when I get there doesn't really matter because I know I'm not there.
Right.
I need to make it cool to be in L.A. playing with Jim Harbaugh because they've got money. Because they got contracts coming off. They can move numbers around. I can build this roster. I just need to make it cool, and they're doing a pretty solid job of that.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Overreaction Monday rolls on after the top of the hour.
Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you'll find the feel you're looking for. From smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Jennifer Robinson, president of Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation, on the importance of providing compassionate care to all.
I think you have to look at compassionate care in 2 different ways. It's compassionate care towards your staff, and it's compassionate care toward the residents. When the residents come into our building, for short-term or long-term, it's important that they feel welcome, but it's important that they feel loved.
Discover the Sandstone difference today at sanstonehealth.com.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Nothing says welcome home like insanely clean carpets from Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. For a limited time, get 3 rooms cleaned for just $129. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under cloudy skies today, now just across the state line into Tennessee. There are wind advisories there at the ridge tops. We've got slight chances for some early afternoon rain. We get up to the low 60s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, some patchy fog, slight chance for rain or drizzle, low 52. We'll start the day off Tuesday with some early fog and drizzle, slight chance for rain later, partly sunny, high 68. Mostly cloudy Wednesday, slight chance for showers, low 70s. Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by GeneratorFranchise.com. Millions protect their homes from power outages with Generac home standby generators. Would you like to be part of this lucrative industry? Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer, has limited franchise opportunities in your area. Learn more at GeneratorFranchise.com.
Going to big box retailers for batteries? Flag on the play. Locally owned Rainy Battery has the lowest prices on all your battery needs. Don't fumble when you can find everything from watch batteries to batteries for cars, RVs, trucks, golf carts, and more at Rainy Battery. Get brands you know and trust like AC Delco, Motorcraft for the lowest prices, plus custom battery cables made in-house. Go to RainyBattery.com or stop in today for a quote. That's RainyBattery.com.
With the election just a matter of weeks away, you need to know who you're voting for. That's why we created the Western North Carolina Candidate Forum podcast. Long-form interviews with candidates from all different races on the ballot this cycle. You can find it at WWNC.com or the WWNC audio archive on the iHeartRadio app.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Dollar. That's dollar. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. This is an
Overreaction Monday.
And it's not, I mean, how do you is there any overreaction right now to the Dallas Cowboys?
You're bad. As a matter of fact,
it's not an overreaction, though.
You falafeling suck. And if you don't believe me, trust your quarterback because he said it. On the sideline, and a camera caught him.
He did. They're terrible.
How does Mike McCarthy have a job right now?
I do not know. And I don't.
I mean, you've lost 6 of 8. Your 2 wins were a miracle over the Pittsburgh Steelers and a pseudo-miracle over the New York Giants. You have gotten the dog walked by the Atlanta Falcons, the Detroit Lions, the New Orleans Saints. You lost brutally to the Ravens, but you made the score look pretty.
Right.
And you lost brutally to the San Francisco 49ers, but you made the score look pretty. So what exactly is it you'd say you do here?
Stink. That's what we do. And for Jerry Jones to continue to just have the blinders on about this team is just craziness. At some point, you have to realize that this ain't going nowhere. But unfortunately, for the Dallas Cowboys and their fans, Jerry Jones has apparently no clue. I mean, I get what is he supposed to do. We're in the middle of the season, and there's nothing that you can do to save this thing. There's no amount. Well, I mean, if you could pull off somehow like 6 trades before the deadline, you might be able to fill some spots to make this a playoff team. But that's not happening. You don't have the capital to pull off those kinds of moves.
Dallas is in purgatory. Because be really honest with yourself. The team that you saw play yesterday against the Atlanta Falcons, what do they have decided? What parts of this roster do you look at and go, that is a piece that will be here when this team is really good?
Well, CD.
There's one.
And Micah, but you got to pay him.
You got to pay him. And I look at Micah Parsons now as, do I really want to? Or do I want to get what I can get out of him? And I know that sounds crazy to say, but you look at Micah Parsons and you're getting ready to have to pay him. He is 25 years old right now. That deal runs for 1 more year. He's got 1 more year. He's got the option year. You're going to give him a 5-year deal. Is this team going to be good in the next 5 years? Look, and I'm not saying what they're going to do. I'm saying what they should do. Huge difference here. Jerry Jones is still the one pulling the strings, so he is absolutely going to bang his head against the wall until he is unconscious. Because you are stuck with Dakota Prescott, and I got news for you. He will never win you anything. Ever. He is I'm going to start calling my stop paying mediocre quarterbacks elite quarterback money. I'm going to start calling that the Dak Prescott rule. I don't know what more he has to do to prove that he is a stat accumulator and nothing else more than he's done this year. He is an average NFL quarterback. Did you at any point yesterday think he was better than Kirk Cousins?
No.
Neither did I. Have you at any point thought he was anything other than Central Time Zone Tua Tagovailoa? Because that's exactly how I view them.
Yeah, no.
To me, they're the exact same guy. There is no difference. You will throw up a lot of yards, might score a lot of touchdowns. You'll lose a lot of games, especially when you play good teams. And so now I look at it, you got a coach that's a dead man walking. He shows up every day curious if his key fob still works. And you just have nothing settled. Your secondary is awful. Outside of Micah Parsons, nobody gets to the quarterback. Your trenches are horrific. You don't have a running back on this team. Ezekiel Elliott got in trouble for something. I don't know exactly what it was, but I've heard a couple different stories that something's up.
Oh, okay.
And it's just, you have become an absolute joke.
William Markman says Dak is the 3rd best quarterback in his division. And he's only that high because of Danny Dimes.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. You are just, if you weren't the Dallas Cowboys, and the only reason that we're pulling you off conversation probation for this is because what your quarterback said. And you look around at how do you get this back on track? That's always my question with a team that comes off the rails. To me, they're not off the rails. They're exactly what I told you they were going to be. But how do you fix this for the long haul? Do you think any high-end reputable coach is jumping up and down to get this job?
No.
Do you think Ben Johnson looks at this job and goes, "Oh yeah, let me do that"?
No.
Or Bobby Slowick or any of these other guys that are high-end coaching candidates?
Not unless it comes with $1 billion.
So you know what that means? That Jerry's going to have a head coaching vacancy this offseason, and you mark my words, he's going to try to make a splashy hire. Who that is, I don't know. Would it shock me if it was Deion Sanders? Nope. Wouldn't shock me in the least, because that's how crazy Jerry is at this point. He's so crazy that he looked at this 53-man roster and said, well, we're the best team in the NFC East. Lather it up, do it again. But you're not. You are way closer to the New York Giants than you are to the Philadelphia Eagles or the Washington Commanders. And it ain't changing anytime soon because you're pegged. Literally, you have money committed to guys that don't deserve it. Trayvon Diggs is not an elite cornerback. He never has been. Not for 1 minute of his entire life has he ever been an elite corner. Dak Prescott is not an elite quarterback. Your offensive line is not elite at this point. You have one guy that plays at an elite level, and he's 35 years old, 34 years old. I always overshoot him. There's just nothing here. And if I felt good about how you drafted, I would say, now, you know what? You got a shot. Maybe you can come out of this, have 2 really good draft classes, and 3 years from now, you're good. Except for the fact you got old Jera up there running everything. As long as he owns this team, they will always be irrelevant. Wednesday, I'm going to go on a sweet tirade. I'm calling my shot that I'm going to do it because we don't have time for me to do it today. We're doing power rankings tomorrow. We're off Thursday, so if I upset you, you get 24 full hours to recover from it before a football Friday. And Dallas is the definition of it. When you're dysfunctional from the top down, you have no shot. And they are. Because dysfunctional teams do desperate, dysfunctional things. Extending Dak Prescott was desperate and dysfunctional. Your 2 franchise pieces here are CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. You don't have anybody else. There is nobody else on this roster that is a franchise piece. So you can keep acting like you're really good. You're not, and you haven't been. You were the 6th best team in the lesser conference. Well, unbeknownst to you, to us, to basically anybody else watching football with an IQ above salad dressing, the NFC has gotten better. Now the NFC is the better of the 2 conferences. I don't know how it happened. I have no clue. I look at it and go, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it has. And you have now been passed. The only teams in this conference that I legitimately feel you are better than are the New York Giants, the Carolina Panthers, and the New Orleans Saints. The Saints just fired their coach, and I don't think they're necessarily dysfunctional from the top down. They were just very committed to a coach that didn't make any sense. Carolina is getting rid of everything that is not nailed to the ground. So that team's going to look a little different in a season or 2. And then what do you have? Because the Giants are in the same boat. And that ain't a dysfunctional franchise. It has been for the last couple decades outside of 2 Super Bowls. Giants, you were maddeningly inconsistent. We either win Super Bowls or we are awful. I think you're stuck. And I've thought you were stuck, and now you've just confirmed it for me. Because you're not sexy. You look at free agent receivers. They want to go to Washington. They want to play with Jaden Daniels. They don't want to play with Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb didn't really want to play with Dak Prescott. He just knew there was no shot he was ever getting to the market.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to sign this deal in the hopes that it gets better and I can be a Dallas Cowboy legend, but you're not going to be. You're going to be the best player on a god-awful team. So that's where you are.
No, I mean, he'll still go down as one of the best Cowboy wide receivers of all time. I mean, that list still includes Dez Bryant, and they never won anything with Dez.
It really doesn't, though. You hear anybody talk about the Cowboys, it's Michael Irvin first and foremost.
Sure. I'm not saying
Drew Pearson.
I'm not saying he'll be the best, but he'll be on that short list.
Yeah, and that's is that you'll always be in that Dez Bryant tier.
Yep.
And that's the same thing that'll go with Micah Parsons. You will be two shining diamonds in the grumper that is the Dallas Cowboys. And until Jerry's not the one making the calls, you don't have a choice.
And the problem is that there's no relief coming. This isn't just going away. And I wonder, how bad does it have to get? Does this team have to be 2-15 for Jerry to finally say, I'm done?
They've been terrible. It didn't matter. Because Jerry, at the end of the day, is the delusional old coot that thinks he's smarter than everybody in the room, and he's not. And now he's getting delusional. He's been delusional. Now he's getting straight up crazy.
Well, now he's threatening reporters' jobs, and it's everybody's fault but his.
And
wait a minute.
And for me, that is why you are on conversation probation. Because outside of your logo, you are the most irrelevant team in the NFL. There is nothing attractive about this team. Nothing. They're not fun to talk about. They're not fun to watch. They have no hype. They have no nothing. It is broken, and you broke it.
Kelvin Joyner says Jerry's going through now what Al Davis went through at the end. That's a very apt comparison.
We have a super chat before we go into the commercial break.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's from Big Mac Brad, and man, I'm hoping, Brad, that Big Mac shows up here because I'm hungry. Hour 3 of trying to get food delivered here to the lovely Radio Ranch. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Moore, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, Brian Thomas. Should I be worried for the rest of the season with DJ, Olave, and Waddle? Waddle, yes, you should be petrified of because he has almost been completely written out of this game plan. He's got a lot of drops. I didn't realize he had as many as he does.
He does. He's got 5 drops through the first 9 weeks of the season.
T. Higgins has more receiving yards than he does, which is weird because he's only played 5 games. So I would be very worried about Waddle. I'm not overly worried about DJ Moore because they're going to keep throwing. And I think he's going to hit a stride. Chicago has a nicer part of the schedule, but he's going to be a spot fill. I think your 2 starters are Amon-Ra and Brian Thomas, and you play the best of the matchups with DJ, Olave, and Waddle. And you hope that Derek Carr doesn't try to kill Chris Olave again.
Yep. And
we should check his financials.
Let's say you hope that Olave's okay.
Olave will be fine. It was a concussion thing. That was all. It was all. What's the word I'm looking for here?
I don't know.
Cautionary.
That
they stretchered him out because he did get his head knocked off his shoulders. The thing about Chris Olave is that he's a talented receiver that has virtually no shot. And then you hear Derek Carr's explanation of that I put it exactly where we talked about in practice. Well, and that might be true. What you probably didn't anticipate was you said that was single high. That was not single high. That was too high. You missed the second safety, and he baited you into it, and he decapitated your receiver. That's a problem. That's a problem. But, hey, you fired Dennis Allen, so it's a happy day.
Yep.
But that would be my analysis. You're going to play Amon-Ra and Brian Thomas every time they're on a field. The other 3 just play the matchups. And it's going to be DJ Moore more often than not.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
At the WNC Mountain Strong Career Fair, employers in Western North Carolina are looking for qualified candidates like you. More than 60 companies will be hiring for jobs in our area. Find your future at the WNC Mountain Strong Career Fair on Friday, November 8th from 10 to 4 at Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville. Free parking vouchers and free community resources on site. Learn more at ashevillechamber.org/jobs. That's ashevillechamber.org/jobs.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and the Carolina Panthers. Well, they're back in the win column. A win over the New Orleans Saints.
You won a game.
23-22, coming up with win number 2 on the air. They're now 2-7.
And this week you play the New York Football Giants.
Got a chance at back-to-backs here, guys.
That's called a win streak.
They're not gonna hit the win streak because
then you go Chiefs, Bucks, Eagles, Cardinals, Buccaneers, Falcons. Shoo, buddy. But here's what I need to say to Panther fans. Did you enjoy Bryce Young yesterday? It wasn't bad. He was an NFL quarterback.
It wasn't great.
It was fine. He was 47 QBR, his second highest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
His first highest was in a game that he threw 2 passes in relief. So I would say we call that his best game of the season.
Yes.
Now, this is where I need to tell you, I hope you enjoyed it, because there is virtually no chance he is not your starting quarterback next year.
Mm-hmm.
Allow me to explain why. He has no market. You're going to get the number 1 pick in the draft or 2. Just it depends on. I don't think anybody's going to win just one game. As a matter of fact, I don't think we even have a. Do we even have a team that only has 1 win?
No.
I think everybody's got 2.
Everybody's at 2.
I don't think anybody's going to win just 2 games. I would say worst team in the NFL is going to finish about 4-13.
Okay.
Even if you get the number 1 pick, I don't think you take Cam Ward.
No, I don't believe that happens.
I trade the pick.
Yeah,
I do the same thing that the Chicago Bears did, which is I have a quarterback that I do not believe in. I wait 1 calendar year knowing full well I'm going to be bad again, but I'm going to add Travis Hunter. I'll go down 2 spots. I'll go down a spot, whatever the case may be, and I'm going to get a lot of draft capital. I'm going to get a franchise player, which Travis Hunter is, and then I'm going to give Bryce 1 more year. If it doesn't work out, I'll decline the option. He can stay on the roster. He's not hurting anybody. He's been a good teammate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll draft Arch Manning next year.
So Tennessee, Las Vegas, and that's it? Those are your choices? Those are the only teams that I can see moving up, giving you a deal.
Tennessee's a good one because their defense is good enough that if they fell in love with Cam Ward, I don't think Shedeur Sanders would want to play in Tennessee. And his dad is going to have – I can't get past he winds up with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually where I think it's most likely is that you get the Raiders trade up to 1 to get Shedeur Sanders.
If they're not one already.
They could be one already.
Because they're that bad. And they're in that much turmoil.
They're not good.
No. They're 2-7, and they just fired their offensive staff.
Yeah, because they got the quarterback's coach, the O-line coach, and the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is, hey, Antonio, who's going to call plays now? Because you fired them all. And your answer is going to be Marvin Lewis, and I cannot wait to watch that 2 yards in a cloud of dust.
Ain't it going to be grand?
Well, I mean, look, if you're Carolina, you've got to look at this from the top down. I believe Dan Morgan did a pretty solid job in the offseason. Nobody wants to talk about that, but he spent the money wisely. You just don't have a quarterback. I like Jalen Coker. I love Xavier Legette. I think he's the best player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that over the course of 2 seasons, just add pieces that are going to be pieces moving forward, your time frame will line up with when the Falcons crater, when the Buccaneers crater, because they're both going to. You can't afford to keep everybody. And then you can be the best team in this league for 3 years. What you have to avoid is where you have already been burned, trying to step out of line. I don't care who the quarterback of this team is. You ain't winning more than 5 games with a roster like this. And you won't next year either.
No.
So tapping out on Bryce Young is stupid. That is how you wind up in the same position. All you did was change the name and the jersey number, and you have the exact same scenario. Because I don't think Cam Ward is I like him a lot. I don't think he is I'm going to slide into a situation where they have nothing, and I'm going to unify this team the way Jaden Daniels did. I would say he more likely winds up in Tennessee, and they've already got some pieces. They've got Calvin Ridley, Nick Westbrook-Akina, who apparently can only catch touchdown passes. He doesn't. He will not even call for the ball if he's not in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got stuff. You've got a defense that will keep you in games. Tennessee's not getting slaughtered every week.
Right.
They're losing, but they're in these games. And if I'm Carolina, you got to take the long approach. And look, I know it's awful. I know it is awful to go into a season knowing full well 5-12 is your high side. But you only got to do it one more year. And then you could wind up with Arch Manning, which is really the only franchise quarterback I see coming anytime soon.
So you're just holding out hope that. But the problem is if Bryce continues to play, will Bryce get better? Will this team win too many games to be involved in that?
Look at the schedule. Tell me where the wins come.
No, I mean next year. Because
I don't care about winning too many games next year.
Well, you should if you're trying to get Arch. Right?
Well, I trade the pick this year. I've got the ammo to go up and get him if I need to.
You've got the 2 first-round picks next year.
Because you got to look at how many teams are going to invest. We've got 6 quarterbacks in this class that I can easily see somebody falling for. One of them is your abomination at Georgia. We're going to talk about him a little bit.
Do we have to?
We do have to. Yeah, we do have to. That's probably going to be in a stock up, stock down, and I'll give you one guess which side he falls on.
Mm-hmm.
You remember? Somebody tried to tell you. I guess I'll do that again because he's bad. Carolina has to avoid jumping out of line. You did good things in the offseason. You're getting draft capital. I still believe they're going to trade Jadeveon Clowney before tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I would listen on J.C. Horn. If somebody was willing to give me even 80% of what he's worth, I would listen. I would listen on anybody.
I was going to say Chuba Hubbard is one that
I don't think anybody's giving you anything for him because he's a running back that doesn't do any of the things that I need a bell cow running back to do. He can run between the tackles. That's it. He gives you nothing else. He is a terrible receiver. He is a terrible blocker. I'm fine. I will keep him around for the rest of this year. Might even have him next year. I mean, he's going to be backing up Jonathan Brooks the minute he gets into this lineup.
Well, he's a free agent after this year. So
let him go.
But
nobody's
right.
You're going to get a conditional 7th-round pick for him, and all that's going to do is upset the fan base, and it ain't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them absolute. And I know I'm the one that says, "Oh, you can't worry about what the fans think." I get it. For what you would get for him, which is virtually nothing, you are better off just trot him out there.
Nobody's giving you more than a 7,
no.
though. You're not getting like a conditional 5 from anybody.
Deontay Johnson got you a conditional 5.
Mm-hmm.
Juba Hubbard ain't Deontay Johnson. Amari Cooper got a conditional 5. Juba Hubbard ain't Amari Cooper. You're getting 10 games out of a guy. And name me the team that's really good that needs a running back that bad. Oh, wait, they don't exist because most good teams have 3 of them.
Right.
So, yeah, and look, just wrap your brain around Bryce Young's going to be the starting quarterback of the Panthers in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see good things. Who knows? Maybe he takes a step. I watched Josh Allen do it. He was atrocious his first 2 years in this league. He was Bryce Young bad. And then he figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bryce can do the same. I don't think he's going to figure it out to that level. But do I think he could figure out to a point where he's a starting level NFL quarterback? I do.
So the Panthers get a win. They go to 2-7 on the season, sitting in 3rd place in the NFC South, right in front of the New Orleans Saints, who lose yesterday and with their 7th loss in a row, ended up doing the right thing.
Fire that coach, by golly. Put him out to pasture. Let him work at Home Depot.
No more Dennis Allen with the New Orleans Saints. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under cloudy skies today, now just across the state line into Tennessee. There are wind advisories there at the ridge tops. We've got slight chances for some early afternoon rain. We get up to the low 60s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, some patchy fog, slight chance for rain or drizzle, low 52. We'll start the day off Tuesday with some early fog and drizzle, slight chance for rain later, partly sunny, high 68. Mostly cloudy Wednesday, slight chance for showers, low 70s. Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by NC Medicaid for more people.
My name's Kate Roper. I had a tumor removed from my left ear, and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. It's probably saving my life.
See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody. QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
I'm super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
This is Carolina basketball.
Flips it to R.J. Davis. Pump fake for 3. Now he'll take it. Count it! Count it, baby! Left corner to Trimble. Jab step, drive, foul, and the bucket.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Drives left against Taylor. He's fouled again. I don't know how, but he got the bucket. Bonds with Trimble going down the center of the lane.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828 774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. We have a happy Jeremy Green in
We
studio.
have breaking news. We have breaking news. Hit your stupid button. This is the biggest news I've had all day.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Some glorious, beautiful human being has brought edible food into this building, and it is getting crammed in my face at a speed that is usually reserved for NASCAR races. I don't know who you were. I didn't get the chance to kiss you on the mouth, which I probably would have.
That's how you get cold sores.
Well, that could be one of the steps.
Jeremy has food.
The Daily Double, the most underrated fast food sandwich, and it's not close.
The Daily Double.
That's the double cheeseburger from McDonald's with the tomato and the mayonnaise and the lettuce, and it is awesome.
Okay. All right. You didn't go chicken Big Mac on this one.
No. It's good.
Right.
It's good.
Oh, speaking of, I heard of something over the weekend that I wasn't sure that you had heard of, Jeremy. The Pickle Witch? Have you heard of the Pickle Witch?
I have. I'm out.
No?
I like pickles.
But you love pickles so much.
I do love pickles.
Apparently, Jimmy John's has a Pickle Witch.
They do. I'm out.
That is a ginormous pickle hollowed out with all of their stuff in it.
Look, I would love to have a ginormous pickle, but it is not in that situation. That's
easy, Tiger.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's not where I was headed with that.
I mean, you can get the turkey Pickle Witch.
Out.
You can get the Vito Pickle Witch.
Out.
Which is salami, capicola, all of the things. It's got all of the things that a Jimmy John sandwich would have.
Stop making stuff bread that's not bread.
Except for it's on a pickle. And I thought for sure this would be right up your alley.
Nope. Stop making stuff bread that's not bread.
No. Of course, people are divided on the Pickle Witch. Some think it's glorious. And then there are others, like one, she's described in this story as a health influencer on TikTok.
So that means she imitates being someone that makes content that anybody cares about?
Yeah. Kind of, focusing on, and I get it. You want to, if you're having a healthier diet, you want to cut down on all of the breads and the French fries and things.
Hey, I'm a health influencer too. You see how easy that was for me to do? That's how easy it was for her to do, too.
So, rather than have all the bread, it would be more healthy for you to have the pickle around the stuff. However, her problem with it is that every time you take a bite of the Pickle Witch, all of the meat sloops out the back. Like, because there's no traction there. You've got it inside a wet vessel. And when you bite into it, all that stuff just sloughs out the end of it.
So what you're telling me is that we have a pickle friction problem.
We do.
I can't. None of them are acceptable. They're all no's.
You're such a child. The Pickle Witch was not the story that I was going to tell here.
Really? 6 minutes later? That wasn't the story I was going to tell.
We're going to let it stand.
All right, my story is, and some people are going to get mad about this, and you know what? You'll get over it. It's about ethical, cultural Fieldston School. This is where Jerry Seinfeld's kids go, or went, until they went so hardcore left that he went, I must get them out of here. They have outlined a program for the coming days for their children. They call it the Election Day Support Schedule. Mm-hmm. And included in it are excused absences for students who feel too emotionally distressed on Wednesday due to the election to attend school. They also will be giving no homework tomorrow, no student assessments on Wednesday, or the day the presidential race is called.
Okay.
The school is being proactive in helping students who have election anxiety, and you don't have to come to school if you're too emotional over the results. To which I ask, how many ply of Charmin Soft do you have to be to say, I'm so distraught over the election that I could not achieve my tasks for the day? Look, here's just a thought. If you're a kid, first of all, your life's not that tough. You've never paid a bill, and you'll be fine. You know how I know that? Because I was 16. And now I look at almost 40 and go, damn, I wish I could be 16 again, because that was really footloose and fancy-free. And this is not really preparing you for the real world, because if I called on Wednesday and said, I am too emotional over the results of this election, they would, do you want a cookie? Because you're going to be here in 3 hours. Or bad things are going to happen. Stop coddling bad behavior. I'm too upset about the election. Well, tough. You're a child, and we don't give you the right to vote because you're not emotionally grown enough to even have an opinion. So shut up. Go to school. Learn something. Become an actual integral member of society and learn to shut up.
Oh, dear. Jeremy, you'll never make it in this brave new world.
Oh, I will. I made it just fine. You know who don't make it well in this brave new world? People that have to deal with people like me thinking it's a brave new world.
Yeah.
There are things I give you a blip on. Mental health days, I've even resolved, you know what? Okay, I get it. If the election is triggering you to such a point that you cannot function, you need to talk to a therapist. Quick.
Yep.
Quick.
Yep.
And school teachers and things like that, stop coddling this.
So
do it with me. Take your index finger, point it directly out in front of you, and go, no. No. See, doesn't it feel great? Didn't that feel awesome?
Yeah.
Now, go out into the world and do that when people say stupid things.
Yeah. So what is Democrat high school going to do, though, when this goes on for weeks? When this goes on for like 3 weeks and we don't know who the president is, are they just going to cancel school altogether? I mean, you
probably.
said Jerry Seinfeld's kids go here, so I'm pretty sure
he pulled them out because they went too. And he's spoken out against them a lot.
If you went too kooky Madookie for Jerry Seinfeld, then I think you got problems.
I believe we have eventually, we have officially gotten into crazy time. Austin Grove said maybe with a self-hugging coat. I can't wait. Somebody's going to invent that too. It's a coat that hugs you.
Oh, it is. It's called a straight jacket.
Yeah.
We put you in those.
Don't beat me to the joke. That was my joke and you stole it.
We put you in those for a reason.
Write your own material.
Sorry. Just all befuzzled right now.
And right now somebody's and you know what? Right now somebody's yelling at their steering wheel going, you're just not sensitive enough. And you know what? You're probably right. And you'll get over it.
As he shovels more French fries in his face. You're just a wild animal, aren't you?
I am. I'm feral at this point. I got so hungry that I was about ready to eat a can.
Good night.
Like a goat.
So tomorrow is election day, by the way. If you have not done your civic duty, then I will encourage you to go and do that tomorrow. You remember, if you're voting in the state of North Carolina, you have to vote at your polling place tomorrow. You missed the early voting window to vote wherever you want. You got to go to your polling place tomorrow.
And I can't emphasize this enough. No one cares who you voted for.
But we know that you voted. If you haven't heard that PSA 7,000 times yet.
I just love that Ricky Gervais did a full-on parody of every celebrity that was telling you how to vote. Chef's kiss. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's great.
The one from the bathtub?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your fantasy football team and who you voted for. Two things that nobody cares. I mean, we care here because that's what we do.
Need no lie.
We give you fantasy football advice. But if you walk into work and go, hey, I got this problem. I got Tua Tagovailoa and Russell Wilson. Who should I start? And you say that to the HR lady, she's probably going to fit you for one of those jackets he was talking about. Because I don't care. I don't care who you start. Go back to work. Go do what we pay you for.
On this Overreaction Monday here in the Sportsocracy after yesterday's festivities in the NFL, Sammy D MVP.
Sammy D MVP.
You still feel all warm and fuzzy about Sammy D
Sure
after
do.
yesterday? Okay. All right.
Winner.
Just curious.
Winner. Gamer, if you will. He is what all of you try to tell me Baker Mayfield is. Gritty. Tough. Winner.
Okay. I came away with a different view of that game.
Okay.
That looked like old Sam Darnold to me.
Yeah, it didn't. As somebody that watched old Sam Darnold, no, it didn't. You know where you lose old Sam Darnold? 3 touchdowns.
At the 3 touchdowns.
1 interception. We flip those. Old Sammy D transversed those numbers.
It did. I mean, it did not look good, and thankfully the Indianapolis Colts are that bad that they played that much worse.
The funny thing to me is only a guy that you really want to find a way to rail on could go 28 of 34, go $150 to his number one receiver, who, by the way, never got in the end zone, which is, if you had Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown scorer, they should refund that to you. But not because he even got all that close, but because the fact he didn't get in the end zone as they single covered him the entire game blows my mind. He threw touchdowns to Josh Oliver and Jalen Naylor instead of, okay, that's fine.
I don't know who that Oliver kid is, though.
His backup tight end.
Naylor was, that's what, like his 3rd touchdown of the season? Yeah.
Look, I feel good about Minnesota. I still feel good about Sam Darnold. They play the Jaguars, the Titans, the Bears the next actually in the next 6 weeks. They go Jaguars, Titans, Bears, Cardinals, Falcons, Bears, Seahawks. That's 7 weeks. I think you're going to be just fine.
They're going to be just fine.
You will win 4 of those games because you showed up with your helmets on, which means you're going to win 10 games, which means you're going to go to the playoffs. And Sammy D, MVP.
I don't think we have any MVP talk on that, though.
Ooh, I wonder where he is
do we?
right now.
Are we still on the Sammy D MVP bandwagon?
I'm just curious on the DraftKings Sportsbook where he falls in their pecking order of MVPs. He is currently tied for 8th.
8th. That's respectable.
It is until you look at the fact that Jalen Hurts is still in front of him, and that is kooky time. You could tell me you had Yosemite Sam in front of Sam Darnold, and I would judge you less for than saying Jalen Hurts. If you give him an MVP vote, I don't care if you vote for 5 guys and you vote him 5th, you should never be allowed to vote again. It's like the guy that didn't who was it? Mariano? Who was the first one that was the unanimous baseball Hall of Famer? Was that Jeter?
Yeah.
And Mariano had been the year before, and somebody didn't vote for him.
There was one guy.
That guy, never allowed to vote again. Anybody votes Jalen Hurts for MVP, your vote is taken away. Give it to me. I'll do it right. I mean, Sam Darnold's getting one, but give it to me. Come on.
All right. No, I came away from that game last night thinking, I don't think Indianapolis is very good. And the Minnesota side of that, I mean, they did enough to win the game. But I thought if they played a decent team, that wasn't going to go their way.
That game
would end up
game was literally never in doubt for 1 second.
Oh, I know. But that's what I'm saying, though. That to me, that's how bad Indianapolis was. That anybody else would have beaten Minnesota last night.
I don't agree with you. You want to – that defense was awesome last night. And I'm a huge poo-pooer of the defense. They figured out Joe Flacco can't read this. He's got no clue what we're doing. And he's such a statue. all we got to do is keep just funneling it at him.
Yeah,
and that's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't agree with you that any team would have beaten Minnesota last night. I mean, and now look, I didn't watch the game live. I had to go back and watch the all 22 of it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with you at all. I think Minnesota did what they had to do to win. It wasn't your prettiest sight. It would really bother me that you can't seem to run the ball, because every game I've seen Minnesota not look good, they couldn't run.
Mm-hmm.
And then it falls all on Darnold. And that is a little scary. They also got a little pass happy last night because they were looking at single coverage on Justin Jefferson. How many times can I throw it to you?
Yeah.
I think he had 12 targets or something like that. It's fine.
It's all fine.
It's fine. They're fine. I feel like Minnesota and Green Bay are, whatever number you have them at in the NFC, they're clearly behind Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're clearly both behind Washington. So I would have them 3A, 3B.
Okay.
I think they're borderline the same team.
Borderline the same as each other?
Yes.
Okay. And just a little bit worse than Washington.
Washington finds a way to win games, and I like your quarterback better.
Mm-hmm.
And now, none of you are in the stratosphere of Detroit because Detroit just keeps finding a way to hurt your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff outside. Whoopsie poopsie.
It's very hard for me not to think that they are the number one team in the NFL now.
I'll go ahead and tell you, power rankings tomorrow. It's deciding between the Chiefs and the Lions, and I'm leaning one way, and it's a blue way.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen Kansas City play, so I can't say that definitively.
Precisely. Depending on how tonight goes, if this game is close and they struggle with Tampa Bay, Detroit has to be number one. I mean, they just look like the team that has it all together.
I don't know how you're supposed to beat Detroit. I really don't. I don't know how you're supposed to beat them. Because offensively, they were not overly impressive against Green Bay. Jared Goff was really accurate, and he stayed on time. They ran okay. Oh, I mean, your second leading receiver had 28 yards. So it was really the Amon-Ra St. Brown show.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter. That game, I watched every snap of. Because I agreed with you.
Because they knew.
In the afternoon slate, I made it a point to be at the Village Porch for this game, so I could watch it on the big screen and really digest it.
Yep.
And still keep an eye on Chicago, Arizona. Detroit is, if I were an NFC team, I would be terrified of, if they don't beat themselves, I don't think we can.
They have the same whatever it is that Kansas City has. Every game, they will go into it, and they will find a way to win, one way or another. It doesn't always have to be the same way. Sometimes they can win it with dominating defense. Sometimes Jared Goff can go off and have a 300-yard, 3-touchdown game.
I think he has officially progressed past the Jared Goff name.
Oh, we're not calling him that anymore?
No, I think he stepped up. He's good enough. He's Jared Goff.
Okay. They can run the ball down your throat. They can kill you on the outside. They can kill you in the slot. It just depends on what. They will take whatever you give them. And their coach and their team and the staff is all smart enough to realize what it is in the moment, just like Andy Reid does with Kansas City.
I do have breaking news about a quarterback that is not out of the me making fun of your name.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This is about one Rain Dakota Prescott. I was today years old when I found that was his real name. Rain. How progressive of you. He will miss several weeks with a hamstring injury that is more serious than previously thought.
Oopsie.
Per Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. And you know what that means.
It's mean guy time.
Cooper Rush! Mean guy!
Boy. But it's all fine. Jerry says we're still going to the playoffs.
In the words of Luke Combs, oh, Lord, when it rains, it pours. you happen to look at the schedule for, all right, so Rain Dakota Prescott is going to miss several weeks. I hear several and go 4 to 6. Do you know who they play in the next 4 to 6 weeks?
Oh, tell me.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Lost.
Houston Texans.
Lost.
At the Washington Commanders.
Lost.
The New York Football Giants.
Okay, you might win that one.
Still lost. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Nope.
Done like dinner. I believe we can. You got my favorite music pulled up over there? We can go full ASPCA commercial for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's time. It's a great run. It was fun while it lasted. We signed Rain to a long-term deal. We got CeeDee Lamb done. You remember when we beat the Cleveland Browns to death when everybody thought they were good? That was awesome. And then week 2 happened, and it hasn't been awesome since.
Mm-mm.
So, pour one out. 2024 Dallas Cowboys.
R.I.P.
Dead. D-E-D, dead.
Oh, it's definitely not good times down in Dallas.
Can't wait to see the first touchdown pass from Cooper Rush to Jalen Tolbert.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, the Daily Draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale, coming up after the break.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Haywood EMC, your local Touchstone Energy Cooperative, is powering a brighter future for our community by offering college scholarships, education grants, athletic camps, and much more. Serving the rural residents of Western North Carolina with affordable, reliable, safe services and open communications for over 80 years. Learn all of the ways Haywood EMC is working in the community at haywoodemc.com/community.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
WWNC is Western North Carolina's news and information station.
On your radio and on your phone with the free iHeartRadio app.
You'll have the smartest smartphone in town.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings. At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under cloudy skies today, now just across the state line into Tennessee. There are wind advisories there at the ridge tops. We've got slight chances for some early afternoon rain. We get up to the low 60s. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Some patchy fog. Slight chance for rain or drizzle, low 52. We'll start the day off Tuesday with some early fog and drizzle. Slight chance for rain later. Partly sunny, high 68. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. Slight chance for showers, low 70s. Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy live in the Ingalls studio on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 ESPN Asheville, and the Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go around the world on the iHeartRadio app. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. It is time for the Daily Draft, top of the third hour of the program here on an
Overreaction Monday.
And it's always stock up, stock down. Don't choke on the on your French fries there.
French fries are long gone, bro. the wispy scent of French fries not even left in here. That was a chicken nugget. And this is a great time for me to say, the Rolls Royce of fast food chicken nugget does come from your local McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. They paid me no money to do that, but they could.
They could. Just give us a call.
McDonald's.
Exactly.
I swear they put crimes in their stuff.
I
eat
think
it
they call
sometimes.
that
I'm
sugar.
I eat McDonald's sometimes, and I just turn into like a feral animal.
Mm-hmm.
I will bite your hand if you. No.
Stock up, stock down. From the weekend.
You go first.
I go first, okay?
Mainly because I don't care. I got like 5. To me, they're equal garbage.
So you got all stock downs today? All right.
I got a lot of stock downs depending on what you do.
Yep.
If I were you and you had some stock downs you wanted, I would really consider doing it early.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm not starting stock down, though. I'm starting stock up. Stock up for the South Carolina Gamecocks. Wait a minute. We got to hang on. The South Carolina Gamecocks, who can't beat anybody good. That is the theme of South Carolina Gamecock football, of we can almost beat anybody. Number 10 Texas A&M came to town this weekend, and they got mushed in the face, as Jeremy Green likes to say.
Mush your face!
Oh, it was so nice to finally see.
I wish I had a towel.
Yes. The South Carolina fans going absolute manners at Williams-Brice Stadium under the lights as they demolished number 10 Texas A&M in the second half. 44-20 was the final score, and South Carolina now 5-3 on the season. Lenoris Sellers,
dog.
Well, yeah, at times
he is a big dude.
He's
a BDD. That's a big dude.
It is. It is a big.
Did
dude.
you hear when they said how dimensionally how he's built?
No.
How much do you think he weighs?
I'd say 220 something.
He is 6'2", 260 pounds.
No way.
He's a dump truck.
Wow.
They couldn't tackle him. They couldn't do squat.
He is maddening as a thrower of the football. But, man, does he come up with some big plays every now and then. Rocket Sanders had a hell of a game.
Dog.
Yeah, he was an absolute dog. Congratulations to the Cocks for getting the big win this weekend.
I watched a lot of that game.
I did, too.
Now, I'd be remiss since you went the Cocky Birds.
Yep.
Number one, to not go – stock down Dabo Sweeny. What more does he have to do for you to get it? Every time I say anything about Dabo Sweeny, I get this just parade of Clemson fans that come at me. Because, he's our coach, he's our guy, he's our whatever he is. Stop. He's not any good. He's not a good coach. He's a terrible recruiter, and he refuses to use the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
What more do you need? He's shown you who he is time and time and time again. And yet you don't want to see it. My camera has gone completely ballistic here. I gave it a signal of some kind, and it zoomed in and went, I'm just going to follow you around everywhere. Woo!
They ran.
No! Stop zooming in on me!
Are you okay? Are you right? They ran. Is this right? 101 offensive plays.
Sounds about right.
Against Louisville. Only were able to come up with 21 points in the game. 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, which made the 33-21 final score look a little bit respectable. But you have lost it. Whatever that love and feeling was, Dabo,
you don't have it anymore.
Right? It's gone. And not a single solitary Clemson fan can come up with a solid reason on why this should continue other than the fact that he won 2 national titles. Was that 6 years ago?
I am officially to the point with Dabo of I'm so tired of arguing with you because you don't have a cognitive point. Nobody that ever tries to defend him has a point in the least. You're really just talking to hear the roar. You like the guy? That's fine. You're completely allowed to like him.
Mm-hmm.
You are so irrelevant on the national landscape that it's pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're an elite contender. You're not. And I don't know why it has to be me to tell you this, because I don't think it's that hard to figure out. You're irrelevant. You don't matter in any way. And I get that you want to matter, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to play a fun game with Clemson and maybe see if I can make the Clemson fans really understand what it is I'm saying here. I'm going to name a team, and you tell me in terms of national prominence which one matters more. I don't have to tell you Oregon, Georgia, Ohio State, Miami, Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. Those are all givens. Notre Dame or Clemson?
Notre Dame.
Is it even close?
Yeah, I would say it's close.
I don't really think it is.
Really?
You both prey on bad schedules. You both lose invariably 2 weird games a year. The difference is we give Notre Dame the benefit of the doubt. I don't know why, but we do.
Mm-hmm. Because of the history. It's a much longer history than Clemson's.
Clemson or Iowa State.
Ooh. I mean, I guess Iowa State would have to be. I mean, they're only a one-loss team in their conference.
I think that one's close. Clemson or BYU? For me, it's BYU. It's not even close.
Really?
You're in a terrible conference. You have been coached well for years. You have done more with less for years.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have the conference money behind you, and you're getting better. You're trending upward. They're trending downward.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana or Clemson?
Indiana, most definitely.
I agree, and I don't think it's changing anytime soon. And then I get to the one that really kind of proves my point. More relevant on the national landscape right now, Colorado or Clemson?
Colorado.
I agree with you. And Colorado has 2 losses and got absolutely demolished by Nebraska. I still look at Colorado as they're more relevant than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because you play in a conference, you have to be the big dog. You must be. You have been replaced in that by Miami, and it ain't even close. They are recruiting circles around you, and it looks real cool to be with you right now. It don't look real cool to be with Clemson. I didn't at any point see any player for Clemson that I went, you know what, he would start at Miami. What I routinely thought was, man, that 5th guy I saw come out from Miami and play 10 snaps, I bet Clemson would kill to have him right now because he could win. You don't have anybody that can win.
Mm-hmm.
Dabo Sweeny is Jimbo Fisher is Les Miles. You were very good in a vacuum for a little period of time. And then we all figured you out. And as soon as we figured you out, you didn't have another home run swing. And I get it. He's super religious, and you like him, and you wish he had married your daughter, and you would love your son to go play for him. I get all of that. I don't begrudge you for any of that. If you have a 5-star recruit kid, take your pom-poms and your tiger paws off and be honest with yourself. If you had a 5-star quarterback son, you do not want him playing for Dabo Sweeny. Period. I've watched him ruin Cade Klubnik. I watched him ruin DJ Uiagalelei. Neither one of them will ever recover.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. And you did that. Because you're not a very good coach.
Mm-hmm.
And you lost Brent Venables, and now all of a sudden your defense sucks. Weird how that works. Every time he loses a coach, whether it was Tony Elliott or Brent Venables or whoever it is, it doesn't really matter. As soon as the smart coach goes away and it falls on Dabo, you regress. You lost the offensive guys. They both take head coaching jobs, and now your offense sucks. Brent Venables takes the Oklahoma job. Now your defense sucks. It's weird how that happens. You caught lightning in a bottle, and now you can't do squat with it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Jimbo. Jimbo 2. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. Jimbo 2. Or Joel Osteen. One or the other. I hadn't figured out which one. I like both.
Yeah. Stock down for Dabo.
Again, you know what? I don't even think this is that much of a stock down. But now you're dead. Stock down Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think you could fall much further in my eyes, but they have. Because now I look at you and go, with Cooper Rush, holy good Lord, you're the worst team in the NFL. You have one weapon that now I can double cover because I am not afraid of Cooper Rush beating me. Your defense is awful. And you can't run.
Mm-hmm.
And you're dysfunctional from the top down. If you didn't have that star on your helmet, we would talk about you the same way we talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is they come up one time a week in power rankings, one time a week running through the NFL in the 2-minute drill talking about, hey, weird, you lost again. Hey, next week, probably going to lose again. That's who you are. You can wear really pretty dresses and have really pretty cheerleaders and have all the swag and call yourself America's team. You're not, and you haven't been in a long time. And guess what? You won't for a long time further.
Yep.
Because Micah, Dak, and CeeDee Lamb will basically account for a third of your salary cap space. Actually, it's a little more than a third for the foreseeable future. Those three are decent enough building blocks. Problem is you can't put anything around them.
Mm-hmm.
You're irrelevant.
All right, stock down for the Dallas Cowboys. And I got to go with the stock down, too. And it kind of hurts me to do this, but I have to because you keep proving that you can't win the big ones. And it's Penn State. That defense played as good as they possibly could. You couldn't score on Ohio State. How much shame is there in losing to Ohio State? None for most programs. But is it not at the point where we go, when is this going to happen?
Well, it's not even just that you lost, it's how you lost. So you got down into the red zone twice, came away with no points.
Mm-hmm.
And you threw, first of all, you were gaining about 2 yards a carry. You were on the 1 yard line. You have an offensive lineman lined up at wide receiver, and you throw it. Do you see how stupid that sounds when I said it? It was that stupid watching it, too.
Mm-hmm. Every chance you get, something happens. And is the common denominator James Franklin?
The common denominator is that you're awful offensively. You recruit high-end talent. You can always run the ball, but your quarterback is always grossly overrated, whether it's Christian Hackenberg, whether it was Sean Clifford, whether it was now Drew Aller.
Mm-hmm.
These were all high-end recruits that wound up just absolutely flailing. Drew Aller has regressed for 3 solid years. I want to love him because he has all the physical tools. He's the safest quarterback in America, never beats anybody down the field. And I am to a point that James Franklin, if I was a Penn State fan, it's time to move on from James Franklin. I mean, it's all well and good that you can bring me to 10-2, and that's awesome, but I want to compete for national titles.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing I would say about Clemson. Hey, if you're okay being 9-3 and being, the Clemson that they've been basically my entire life, if you're okay with that, hang on to Dabo. Do it forever. Do it forever. Let him coach his team for 40 years. He's still a young guy. He's only 54.
Mm-hmm.
Franklin's still a young guy. Those guys could coach your program for 20 more years. You know what I'll tell you about both of them? There is a snowball's chance in Atlanta they ever win a national title. Because and I don't love Ryan Day. Ryan Day is his record against you is pretty staggering.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you do at this point.
Fire him.
Because I feel like James Franklin is a good enough coach to have that job.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I think James Franklin gets very lucky year in, year out that you're in a conference that's looked at very positively. Now the Big Ten has expanded. You lived as the third best team in the Big Ten because you were behind Michigan, you were behind Ohio State.
Right.
I got news for you. You're not. Not anymore. Because now you've got Oregon in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
You've got USC that if they ever had a competent coach, they would be better than you. And fifth best team in the Big Ten, you know what that doesn't get? A spot in the playoff. You'll get in this year because we haven't fully taken hold of all the NIL things and things like that. And Michigan's way down because they don't have a quarterback. Give it a year. Because they'll have a quarterback next year, I promise you. They'll go out in the transfer portal and pay for whatever it takes. Because that team defensively is really good.
But what do you do?
Penn State?
Yeah.
I fire him.
No, I mean, like, where do you turn to?
There are a lot of young coordinators. I am going to try to hit that. Because Penn State is still a destination job. If I hit the guy that turns into the next Kirby Smart, he's mine for 20 years because he ain't leaving this job.
Yeah.
He's not. That's the difference. For me, that's the difference between Penn State and Clemson. Clemson never hit on that guy, and they had a real young hotshot that actually was what you portray Dabo to be. Somebody else would have already pilfered him because you ain't got that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State does.
Right.
They keep him forever. And they will love him and build statues of him forever because their guy's tarnished. That, to me, makes that job very alluring. And now, who that guy is, I mean, I have some thoughts, but talking about, promoting coordinators in college football doesn't really sound super palatable to me. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at James Franklin going, you can't get me where I want to go. As long as you can't get me where I want to go, you can't be my head coach. James Franklin would be a great coach at Vanderbilt. Problem is that he stepped up to the big job and he took the wrong job because you're not the guy to win in the Big Ten.
Yep.
I think he would be an elite coach in the ACC. I think he'd be an elite coach in the Big 12. He's not in the SEC and he's not in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. Next up, let's see. Stock up for the New Orleans Saints. Just giving you the stock up because you did the thing that you were supposed to do. I mean, a year ago, but still,
For sure.
you finally broke down and you did it. Dennis Allen being out of the building, I think, is the biggest positive that this franchise has had since Sean Payton left. 'Cause I don't think you've had anything to celebrate other than that.
You haven't. You haven't. This is probably the best day since Sean Payton left. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Because now it's a world of opportunity, and you have enough talent. You have enough talent to be good a year or two from now.
You have enough talent to build on.
For sure.
Right, you've got
And look, that's an older roster, and it's an expensive roster.
Right, I was going to say, you've got some older pieces on that roster, but through attrition over the next couple of years, and you do some drafting, who knows?
Don't be shocked if Marshawn Lattimore's not on this team in 24 hours. Little birdie.
Ah, okay. All right, fair enough. Stock up for the New Orleans Saints. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the stock up, stock down from the weekend. It'll be Jeremy's turn after he gave a stock down to Dabo and to the Dallas Cowboys.
And my first stock up, which will be my first pick after the break, we have breaking news about that team.
To all you tool people out there, has Harbor Freight got a deal for you? Big savings every single day this November. Because we know that right now, when the price of everything only seems to go up, you need a place where prices stay low. So shop in-store or online for quality tools you can trust at prices you'll love every day. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
If you're living with chronic joint pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, I've got exciting news for you.
Emmitt Smith, all-time rushing leader and Hall of Famer.
Now you can get relief from pain without harmful medications and surgery. Call my guys at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics specializes in biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue. I'm talking about natural pain treatments now available, not just for pro athletes, but to people like you.
At QC Kinetics, we're seeing patients every day who suffer from chronic joint pain but who desperately wanted to avoid surgery. We're treating joint pain with biologic therapies, regenerative solutions with long-lasting results.
Listen, it's all about getting your life back. Playing touch football with kids, walking upstairs pain-free, getting back on a job, and patients at QC Kinetics are raving about the results.
QC Kinetics. Call to learn more about restorative treatments that can get you back in the game.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, the Daily Draft brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale. Stock up, stock down. From the weekend so far, 3 selections from me. I've got Gamecocks, stock up. Penn State, stock down. The New Orleans Saints, stock up for firing Dennis Allen. Jeremy has stock down for the Clemson Tigers and Dabo Sweeny. And then stock down for the Dallas Cowboys, who, well, the news just keeps on getting worse for them. We got a super chat that we need to get to.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And this one comes to us from Red Sea with some breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Red Sea's very excited because Monty Ossenford has traded for an edge rusher, which he has been clamoring for weeks. Baron Browning from the Denver Broncos headed to the Arizona Cardinals for a 6th round pick.
Okay. Baron Browning, how does that help?
That's an improvement. Look, Denver had 3 pass rushers. One of them was always going to be odd man out, and Baron Browning was the one. I think he goes to Arizona, becomes I would have preferred Azeez Ojulari, but at least you did something. And it was super. He's cheap, and the deal is cheap. So I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads me into my next stock up. The Arizona Cardinals! Is it weird that I think they're the best team in this division?
No.
Because I do. I do think they're the best team in this division. And I don't think this is going to fall off. I'm not overly shocked that they didn't just beat the Bears. They beat the smoke off the Bears. I feel like this team's coming together right in front of our eyes, whether you want to see it or not. Because yesterday, Kyler Murray was not good. He was not good. And it did not matter. Because they limited Caleb Williams, which a lot of teams seem to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Still early.
It blows my mind how many people are shocked by this. Hey, Caleb Williams can't beat good teams. Oh, you mean like he couldn't for 3 years in college either? I'm shocked. I do declare.
You had all the evidence in front of you.
But Arizona is, look, they're good. They're improving.
Mm-hmm.
They're young. There's a lot to like about this team. And I do.
You should. Yesterday was obvious that, look, this team is not one of the worst teams in the league any longer. You put them on the field with a bad team, and they're going to show you.
And now, to be clear, I don't think the Bears are a bad team.
They're a bad offense.
I can't really agree with that either.
Really?
They're a talented offense.
Mm-hmm.
They're a talented but disjointed offense. To hold them to 9 points is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good win for Arizona. And they have a chance to go get another one next week because they play my New York Jets. And I'll go ahead and tell you, they should be a favorite, and they probably will be.
They are a favorite. Let's see here. I was looking at this earlier today. They are a 1-point favorite.
I'm not surprised by that.
1-point favorite at home against the Jets next week. They are 5-4. They are number 1 in the NFC West, and they're one of the reasons I said last week in our spicy predictions that San Francisco 49ers could end up being the worst team in this division by the end of the year because the Cardinals are on the upswing.
And they've still got the Seahawks twice, the Patriots, the Panthers, the Rams. They do have this one with the Jets. They still have one with the Vikings. They still have one with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm. You got the Rams that can still win games. You have Seattle, who is not easy. That's not a pushover team.
I agree with you, but I think Arizona will beat them twice.
And I will agree with you.
Here's what I think happens, and you call me a homer, you call me whatever you want to. I think they lose at home to the Jets this week.
Okay.
And people will fall off the bandwagon. And then they'll go to Seattle and beat Seattle, and they'll jump back on. And then they'll lose to Minnesota in Minnesota, and people jump off. And then they'll beat Seattle the following week. And then they'll run through 3 bad teams, and that's when when people will actually believe this, because the record at that point they would be what, 8-7 at that point, 9-7, 9-6, and that's probably enough for people to go, okay, this team's better than I thought. Because Arizona, we had a preconceived notion, and it is really hard for people to jump off that and go, no, they're good, especially when the record is, it's good but not great. This is a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked they've been able to win 4 out of their last 5. And their one loss was to a Packer team that they were just outgunned against in their building.
Yep. All right, and then?
I don't want to do it.
Uh-oh.
But I have to.
Uh-oh.
Stock up the U. Miami, I'm just going to level with you. You're going to own the state of Florida for quite some time, because Florida State's down, and they ain't kicking out of this anytime soon. And Florida is downer. I get it. DJ Lagway got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
The sheer fact that you have a quarterback on that roster that is as bad as what I saw is staggering. Then you look at Miami, who I think has the best coach of the 3. They have a lot of money in the program, and it's cool to be a Cane again. Miami ain't losing a game. This team's going undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play in the ACC championship game, and they probably smoke SMU. Because SMU's good, but they're not Miami good. There's a possibility that Miami goes into the playoffs as the 2. That sounds crazy right now until you really look at the schedule and go, Ohio State still has a game with Indiana that ain't going to be no picnic. And I think they lose it.
Ooh.
Oregon's really good, and I don't think they're going to catch another loss, but they could.
Mm-hmm.
But then you really look up and down the national landscape. Who has as clear a path as Miami does? Nobody.
It's true.
And you get into the playoff, you get to skip as the champion of the ACC, you get to skip that first week playing on your at your home base. Of which, by the way, can we get them a stadium? Because the Orange Bowl has officially started to, or what is that, Hard Rock Stadium?
Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah.
Hard Rock Stadium has officially become the sad, single, recently divorced guy apartment of college football. That place is a dump to the highest extreme. And I watch Miami play there, and they can't even get the letters painted right in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at that and go, this is the most depressing thing I think I've ever seen in my life. You deserve better than that. I mean, you haven't until now. I get it. It's new deserved, and it takes a while to build a stadium.
But if they had their own, would it be any different?
If it was on campus.
You think so?
That stadium's, you got a ways to get to.
Okay. I mean, I've never been there, so I don't. I mean, I
don't remember exactly how far it is.
I've seen Hard Rock Stadium, and I've seen Coral Gables on a map. I know it's a distance, but would the fans show up either way?
It's 25 minutes to the North Campus, and the North Campus runs all the way to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on where you are on campus, you're talking about a 25-minute drive. That's also the most god-awful spot, traffic-wise, that I've ever seen. It is a super hard stadium to get to, even if you're close, because nobody can walk it.
All right.
Now, you got a handful of gas stations within like a 1.5 2 mile radius. That's about all that's there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a dump. And you can't get people there, so you don't really have a home field advantage. But here's the thing. If you skip that first round, it doesn't matter because you're not playing on campus. So none of that, all that's completely irrelevant. Then you get the fan base that has been looking for a reason to mobilize forever, and they'll have one. We're playing in the college football playoff. And that team's good. The line's good. They have the best quarterback in the country to me. He's a shoe-in for the Heisman so long as he just stays upright. It's a good time to be the U.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at those 2 other dumpster fires in Florida and go, oh, which one of you sucks more? Because it's both of you.
That is a key question. All right, you teased it earlier, and you haven't taken it yet, so I'm gonna have to take it before it comes back to you. Stock down old Carson Beck, because that dude has got some issues. Jeremy, you are the quarterback evaluator.
Yep.
But
I'm getting scolded in the YouTube chat for saying that being a hater on Caleb Williams. I've been a hater on Caleb Williams since he was a sophomore in college, and he's never done anything to change my mind.
Yeah.
Especially when I look across the aisle and go, hey, the guy you took him over looks like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Caleb Williams doesn't.
No, he doesn't even look like a top 10, 12, 15,
I've never debated he has.
quarterback.
I've never debated he has talent. I think between the ears, he's a 6-year-old. And if you give him a reason to pout, he will.
Yep.
I mean, and look, you want to put your stock in that guy? I'm not going to fault you for it because I do see the talent. I've also watched guys like that wash out of this league for 20 years. And I'm not going to be shocked when he does the same thing.
Yep. The last 5 games that the Georgia Bulldogs have played.
Oh, boy. I know where this is headed. I left it for you.
Would you? That's what I said. You left it, so I got to take it. Carson Beck, the last 5 games, he has thrown, are you ready for this? 11 interceptions in the last 5 games. 3 against Alabama, 2 against Mississippi State, 3 against Texas, 3 against Florida. Oh, but you won all of those games except for the Alabama game.
Not because of him, you didn't.
Okay, I'm sure. Whatever.
Not because of him, you didn't.
You can't keep doing this.
You will get skull crushed in the playoff if he doesn't figure out how to stop turning the ball over, because he's not good enough. Your good is not good enough to sustain how bad your bad is. This is what I was telling you when I said I don't know who the second best team is. I tell you it's not, because I watch that mundane side to side offense and go, who good are you going to beat?
No one.
You struggled to almighty Hades with a horrifically bad Florida team. That, oh, by the way, for 2.5 quarters could not complete a forward pass. You were still tied in the fourth quarter.
You're right. So somehow you still could not score. And then you found a way to win. Then you found a way to get back-to-back touchdowns there in the fourth quarter, pull away, and make it look like you did something. Which, in all reality, as Jeremy just said, 4 minutes to go in that game, it was tied. With a
and then
team
you scored
that
2 touchdowns to make it look better than it was.
Right. With a team that should not even be in your weight class. And it's been my problem with Georgia for the last, I'll go back to the national championship years. For 3 years we've been doing this. Playing with whoever we're playing. You play with your food long enough, you're going to get bit. Like you did against Alabama.
It sounds like you need to cook your food more. If you play with it and it bites you, you should have cooked it.
Precisely. And then guess what? You got Ole Miss and Tennessee coming up in the next 2 weeks. It could very well fall off the rails because that Georgia secondary has had its problems. And you've got a quarterback coming in this week that just threw for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Granted, against a lesser defense, but still going to be a problem.
Oh, for sure.
And you can't afford any losses if you're going to continue to try to be the number 2 team in the country. And Carson Beck, it's almost like this team is just winning in spite of him. Let's see if we can get past the god-awful of the first half and then hope on a wing and a prayer that we can come up with big plays in the second half to win. It really does just drive you insane as a fan of a team to watch them do that over and over and over. It's kind of like the reverse of being a Baltimore Ravens fan, where you get out to the early lead and then you let them get back in it and just hope to God that you can hold on for dear life to that win. But Carson Beck's stock as an NFL quarterback, I have to imagine that has plummeted.
It never. Nobody I talked to ever had a stock for Carson Beck. Because we looked at him as for what he is. You are a pathetically bad pick and pop quarterback with a much more talented roster. And I think a lot of us thought this was going to go exactly as it has. Now you've got receivers that you're not necessarily comfortable with. You don't have a George Pickens or any of the guys that they've had over the years. Not necessarily just with him. Just Georgia does not have as good a receiving core right now as they have in the past. And it's stupidly obvious. He trusts nobody. Love it to a point, but not as much as he should. He's just not a good quarterback. And I've said this since the minute he hopped in your start lineup. That's your problem. Because when he plays to his weight class and you're not beating up on Missouri, he got a problem. And he has.
That he does. Oh, you know what? Since I went stock down for one Georgia quarterback, I'll go stock up for one former Georgia quarterback. It's Matthew T. Stafford. Matthew Stafford of the.
Did you Google that to see what it was?
I did not. I just made it up like Jeremy does. Matthew Stafford.
Oh, you get his name right. It's John Matthew Stafford.
John Matthew Stafford the third.
Yeah. He went double biblical name.
Well, with the Los Angeles Rams, I mean, just proving that there are few that do it better. When the game is on the line and he's got a weapon or two to work with, that guy, I mean, that game-winning touchdown throw to Demarcus Robinson, as soon as it came out of his hand, you knew. If you've been a Georgia fan or you've been a Detroit Lions fan, whatever, if you followed Matthew Stafford at all, as soon as that ball came off the fingertips, you knew. As long as that guy at the other end has a pulse, that ball was in a perfect spot. And I love seeing old guys make plays. And Matthew Stafford is the old guy in the building. It really dawned on me yesterday, too, with him standing on the sideline next to Sean McVay with all that gray in his beard. Like, whew, that boy's getting up there in the years. But he can still sling it.
Speaking of weird beard choices, Josh Heupel, we need to get you a Schick endorsement.
Oh, no, what did he do?
He just has that weird, it's not even a beard. It's just, I haven't shaved in 2 days, and you look like a hobo. Like, you literally look like you slept under a bridge. I'm going to need you to get that right, especially since you have that sizable Peter Griffin chin that rests underneath your original one. It really just makes it more pronounced. That's one of the reasons that I have the big beards, because it hides that. Josh Heupel has that perfect, butt crack chin. That,
yeah.
Ooh, and you could stick a pencil in there and it would stay. You should shave that aggressively.
All right. Stock up, stock down for week 9/10, right? We're at 9 and 10 of the football season. We will continue after the break here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under cloudy skies today, now just across the state line into Tennessee. There are wind advisories there at the ridge tops. We've got slight chances for some early afternoon rain. We get up to the low 60s. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Some patchy fog. Slight chance for rain or drizzle. Low 52. We'll start the day off Tuesday with some early fog and drizzle. Slight chance for rain later. Partly sunny. High 68. Mostly cloudy Wednesday. Slight chance for showers. Low 70s. Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Disasters at home from floods, fires, or storm is a homeowner's worst nightmare. It pays to have a professional on your side, and that's exactly what you get with First Restoration Services. They've built their business off trust, integrity, speed, and quality. Learn more online at FRS247.com.
iHeartRadio has the 2024 presidential election covered with Decision 2024. Listen for real-time results and updates as the votes come in. From key races to national trends, our team will cover it all. Tomorrow night, stay informed and stay connected on the go with your free iHeartRadio app. Just search election to listen to iHeart's 24/7 news channel.
A people-first presidency.
Make America great again.
Decision 2024 on iHeartRadio.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again?
Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
The 2024 general election is right around the corner, and News Radio 570 WWNC is covering every angle of it for you. From the local elections right here in Western North Carolina to the state offices in Raleigh, and of course, the race for the White House. News Radio 570 WWNC is your official election information station.
Storm Pro Solution is here to help you in your time of need, providing top roofing and water damage restoration services, tree removals, and storm damage assessments. Call Storm Pro Solution at 828-318-7096.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. Still in the midst of the daily draft. Stock up, stock down from the weekend of football. And Jeremy Green, you have back-to-back selections here to round out your stocks up and down.
Stock down, Texas A&M. You make my head hurt. You recruit really well. I think you have a really good coach now. Man, you just don't seem to have any ability to win a big game whatsoever. You can beat the bejeebers out of bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you put you in a non-productive environment, going to Notre Dame, going to South Carolina, and you can get your absolute brain rocked. And I know you're playing your backup quarterback. Backup quarterbacks in college, there should not be that big of a drop-off. He couldn't complete a pass. I mean, it was pitiful at times watching this kid who I knew his first instinct was to run. And he just completely looked ill-prepared to play quarterback at a high level. And for me, that falls on the coaching staff. That falls on Colin Klein. And I get it. You went into a buzzsaw. We've been in that stadium this year. It is electric. And I've heard it's way better at night.
And that South Carolina front was on fire.
And then you get Lenora Sellers that just you couldn't tackle. I bet I said that 10 times. Does Texas A&M have any idea of how to actually tackle somebody? Because you don't seem to know how. And it's so on brand for what you are. You are Penn State of the South. You're always going to hang around because you just have way more talent than practically everybody else. But you never win these games.
Yeah.
I mean, the last big win you had was who? Manziel beating Alabama, which was 8 years ago?
Yeah, it was a long time.
9 years ago? Might have been longer than that.
Yeah.
You're an also-ran to me. And until Mike Elko can take hold, I think you're going to continue to be. And I'm not even sure he's the guy. Right. I'm not sure he's a top 10 coach because that's what you need.
All right, a big old stock down for Texas A&M. And then?
and I'm going to go stock up Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
Colin, our buddy and wonderful listener of this here program, he took issue with me a bit ago, saying I have a bone to pick with Jeremy. You can't put the Lions over the Chiefs when the Lions haven't really done anything in the playoffs. Let's pump the brakes on the Lions. First of all, I can do whatever I want to because my power rankings are they're not who do I trust more. None of that. If you played right now, who do I think is going to win? I got the Kansas City Chiefs that play with everybody. I don't see a weapon that is going to really be able to take advantage of what Detroit doesn't do well, which is very little, but they're not getting after the quarterback phenomenally right now. I think they're going to add a guy in the next 24 hours. You have to be able to shoot out with them. I don't think Kansas City can beat them in a shootout right now. So, yeah, there is part of me, and I haven't done my power rankings yet. I can tell you it will either be the Lions or the Chiefs. I think they are far and away better than anybody else in this league. But the fact that the Lions haven't won in the playoffs, if you remember going back to when Kansas City started this little run, I did the same thing with them because I trusted them more than Tampa Bay, which burned me, with Tom Brady because I see the writing on the wall. You're better. What you did last year means something to me. It's not the end-all, be-all. Because you're not going to take that step until you take that step. And I think the Lions have taken that step. Watching them go into Lambeau and beat the heber-jeebers out of the Green Bay Packers, that's a really good indicator. They've lost one game all year, and they outgained the team that beat them by 300 yards.
In a cold rainstorm, nonetheless.
And it's Jared Goff outside. That's one of my biggest drawbacks of them. I'm also looking at the NFC going, I don't see a team that is going to beat them. I'm not going to say there's not one that can. There's not one that I'm going to bet on.
I believe there's one that can. I believe there's probably
there are several that could. The question is, are you going to?
Right. The Vikings very well could get on a heater, and you just can't handle Justin Jefferson for a game, and they can sneak one up on you. I feel like the Green Bay Packers, with a healthy Jordan Love, maybe.
My bigger fear would be Philadelphia. Is that Sirianni has just one of those out-of-his-mind games, and they've been here before. Mm-hmm. But, you look around the NFC landscape, hey, who's the team that has way more experience in the playoffs than the Lions right now? Oh, yeah, they don't exist. They don't exist. There are 4 quarterbacks in the NFL that have won a Super Bowl. One of them's in the NFC, and his team's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, Matthew Stafford is good enough to be a playoff quarterback. His team's not.
Yep.
And even if they get there, the difference in talent is going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have already gone on a run. They were leading at halftime last year of the NFC Championship game. And I got news for you. They're leading at halftime this year. San Francisco, you might as well just start crying because they ain't doing it again.
Yeah, no doubt.
The Detroit Lions, to me, feel like a team of destiny in that they spent the entire offseason hammering home, we are the most talented team in this conference. Now we got to learn how to win. We got to learn how to close. And did you see the hat that Dan Campbell was wearing yesterday? It just said grit in the Detroit Lion font.
Nice.
Which, first of all, that's a tough team.
Yep.
And I can't tell you they're going to be 1 tomorrow, but I can tell you they ain't going to be any lower than 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it really depends on what I see out of Kansas City tonight because I have a funny feeling that's going to be more of a game than we want it to be.
Tonight?
Yes.
I hope you're right.
Tampa Bay's a 9-point dog, and to me, that's comically insane.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. To round out the daily draft, brought to you by Dale's Pale Ale, I will take the selection that I've taken, I believe, for the last 7 weeks in a row. Stock down, Nick frickin' Sirianni. I'm not even a Philadelphia Eagles fan. And every week, he finds a new way to be stupid. And this past week, he left, 9 points on the board?
Yep.
And you almost cost your team a win against the Jacksonville Jaguars of all teams.
And it's a game that should never have been close.
No, it should never have been close, and it took Nakobe Dean making a great play in the end zone to pick off that ball, or who knows? Jacksonville scores, all they got to do is kick the extra point, right? Or no, it was a 5-point game. If they'd have scored the touchdown, you lost by 1 point.
Yes.
And you left 9 on the board voluntarily. Because you wanted to go for 2 3 times.
He's a goober.
I don't understand it.
He's one of those for me that if I was an Eagles fan, it would be hard for me to root for you.
Yeah,
like I love my team, but I hate you to such a point that it's hard for me.
Right, and I'm completely torn right now because we're 6-2, and I got this buffoon leading our team. Somehow we're still winning games, but that's not going to last for long. They keep playing the way they're playing. This season will end up just like last season did. I'm not saying you're going to lose 9 in a row down the stretch or whatever it was you did last year, but it ain't going to be pretty once you get down to the meat of the season, having to make the playoffs or win a playoff game.
Stephen Tow in our YouTube chat with a good point of Tank was the only one that was right this week about Denver. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to talk about Denver tomorrow when it's a Power Rankings Tuesday.
It'll be a Power Rankings Tuesday tonight. Monday Night Football, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. And we've already made our pick for this game. Both of us are on Tampa Bay plus the 9 because, well,
that's a lot of points.
Well, the Chiefs don't blow people out like that.
Yeah, I'll go over 45.5. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be about a 31-24 game. And Baker Mayfield passing yards.
Yep. K. Dotton, anytime touchdown.
That's not a bad one.
It's worth a shot.
But I will take the Chiefs to win.
Yep.
If you want to bet that in the money line, enjoy betting $10 to win 47 cents because I think that's roughly what it is.
We'll be back with you tomorrow. Recap of the Monday Night Football matchup between the Bucs and the Chiefs. And, of course, it's Power Rankings Tuesday. We'll see you back here on ESPN Asheville at noon.
Welcome your guests into a clean and cozy home this Thanksgiving by calling the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
If you're a full-time licensed electrician, Grigg Electric has an opportunity for you. Grigg Electric is now hiring. Starting pay is $26 and up, depending on experience. You'll have a company vehicle to drive home daily. Benefits like comprehensive insurance, simple IRA, and of course, paid time off. For more information and to fill out an application, go to GriggElectric.com, G-R-I-G-G Electric.com, or call 828-232-0021. 828-232-0021 for Grigg Electric.
Need batteries? Don't overpay at big box stores. Shop locally owned Rainy Battery for the lowest prices on all your battery needs. From watch to heavy equipment batteries, Rainy Battery has you covered. Boats, RVs, cars, trucks, golf carts, and so much more. Get brands you know and trust like AC Delco, Motorcraft for the lowest prices, plus custom battery cables made in-house. Go to rainybattery.com or stop in today for a quote. That's rainybattery.com.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle. And their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024, Inc.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Under cloudy skies today, now just across the state line into Tennessee. There are wind advisories there at the ridge tops. We've got slight chances for some early afternoon rain. We get up to the low 60s. Tonight, mostly cloudy, some patchy fog, slight chance for rain or drizzle, low 52. We'll start the day off Tuesday with some early fog and drizzle, slight chance for rain later, partly sunny, high 68. Mostly cloudy Wednesday, slight chance for showers, low 70s. Jeff Eno from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by United Federal Credit Union.
This is Matt Sorrells at United Federal Credit Union here in Asheville. We're here for our community following the devastation of Hurricane Helene. To see how we can help, you can visit unitedfcu.com/North Carolina Relief or call 888-982-1400, insured by NCUA.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren, but prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower